Hi, everybody, and welcome back with Vampire the Masquerade New Orleans by Night. This is episode 2. We have just started to get to know our kindred crew and tag-along mage. We're gonna, find out more about them tonight and some of this bit of tension that's going on in this city, some strange nonsense with werewolves and creepy mages. Let's go around a little bit and have everyone say something about their character. So, Super Chocolate Bear as Luther, the Toreador. Give us a little note about yourself and maybe how you're feeling after last week's game. And after we go around, I'll give a little summary.
Yeah, so after last week's game, he's pretty excited to try and win this bet that the prince started up to try and find a what are they called? Something mage?
Technocrats.
Yeah.
Technocrat mage, yes. He's pretty knowledgeable about finding some hard to find things, so he feels pretty confident about it. And anytime he could get a challenge, he's excited. So
perfect. And Zabani playing Abraham the Ventru.
So Abraham is also involved in this bet. He's not as concerned about winning, because, what's going to happen? He's going to, owe a guy a favor. He's used to that. He is interested in making sure that the Masquerade isn't broken, or not the Masquerade, that his city is kept safe. So he went in on the bet to get another vampire to keep their eyes and ears out. Though he does believe that the plan that we're currently working with, no one's going to win because we're all going to find one at the same time.
Perhaps. Elvish Dame playing Dinah the Toreador.
Dinah is a little wary about this weird plan that they've kind of come up with, which is to just kind of stage a obvious supernatural party on Mardi Gras in order to try to attract people who would want to show up to that. Hopefully a technocratic mage. If not them, then at least some other mages or things of that kind. But she is going to be the one singing on the stage for that, although I guess she could get somebody else to do it. She knows enough people, but I think she is made enough to want to do it herself.
Sounds like a Tory.
Right? No. So she's a little apprehensive about this, but overall she's kind of excited to get the ball rolling a little bit.
All right, and Modi Ansa's playing Bjorn the Gangrel.
Hello. So far, he's Bjorn is still a little curious about everything going on. Mainly focused on what the Lupine are doing, and is trying to get more information out of his contact with them and try to figure out what exactly and why they're so eager all of a sudden to throw to complete shreds the peace that they have in the city, and really wants to nip this whole thing in the bud, because that's the last thing everyone needs is a bunch of shimming vampires in the background, because that'd just be terrible. Just keep the peace, especially with the entirety of the media attention kind of being on New Orleans during Mardi Gras. It's the worst time for things to get out of control, and that's what he's been focusing on.
And Koznark as Theo the Samedi.
Same thing I do every night, Pinky. God, he's just enjoying himself, having fun. Looking forward to trying to hunt down a technocrat. That sounds exciting. You want to trap him a technocrat, maybe give them some diseases or something, shrink their head, see if it pops, find out what their brain looks like, see if it sparkles when you remove it from its canister. So that should be exciting. Other than that, just hanging with these people, worried about his domain during Mardi Gras, and a little peeved at the prince for not inviting him to the party.
And last but not least, Hopeless Andre playing our mage, Rebecca, of the Cult of Ecstasy tradition.
Low-key terrified of this technocrat hunting prospect. Much more comfortable with the idea of meeting the Garu and being diplomatic with them, but she's still afraid of that. It's just like it's a way nicer idea than let's go find a technocrat.
Yes. So last week, the prince had invited some members of his household. In New Orleans, the prince doesn't have a traditional Primogen council. He has more so some members of Kindred Society he's chosen to be his close allies and makeshift council. He invited them, as well as Luther, Abraham, and Dinah, also near elders of the city, at least Anselay. You know, they've been around for quite a while, and they have experience, they've influence in the city. He invited them along to a small bar gathering and just wanted to explain to them, with Mardi Gras coming up, he was a bit concerned about some of the tensions in the city, namely the way the Lupin have been rustling their feathers, their fur's been prickling because of an old treaty that they don't feel is being kept up to date. They were supposed to own certain territory in New Orleans, and Kindred were supposed to own others, and now it seems like the lines are beginning to blur. They don't like it. So now they're starting to cause a bit of trouble for the Kindred, and, you know, in a bit of a mild terroristic sense across the city, and he's very worried, the prince is very worried what exactly that might mean with a huge festival coming up, you know, what could possibly happen. Additionally, the prince is known for at least a couple centuries that there are mages in the city, especially some that refer to themselves as technocrats or technocratic mages, or at least he's heard them called that. He doesn't know very much, and he only knows that they've been giving the Lupin their own trouble, that it's in fact how the treaty started. So now he's also worried about if they are going... I know it's the Technocratic Union. I'm speaking for his opinion. Yes, the Technocratic Union. The prince is very iffy on what exactly they are. But anyway, so the treaty between the Kindred and the Lupin were to keep these entities at bay, and, you know, now the prince is just getting very worried. So he asked Luther, Abraham, and Dinah, as well as a couple others in attendance, if they could find any information on technocrats, and especially if they could grab one, they would be offered an excellent boon, a favor in his name that they could use for pretty much anything. He really wants to find one of these guys. On the other side of town, Bjorn went and spoke with a probably Malkavian, known by the name of Uriah Travers. Travers is known throughout New Orleans as a crazy hermit who knows everything and can get you pretty much any information you want, although he doesn't really play the politics game, so it's can be hard to even track him down and get a good question out of him. Bjorn, with this information, went to speak with Theo, and Theo was speaking with Rebecca, who he's kind of adopted as a, I don't know, surrogate friend, daughter, pet. He really likes Rebecca and is highly amused at the aspect of speaking with a mage. And the three of them confirmed that there is going to be trouble with the Lupin, trying to figure out exactly what to do. And Rebecca confirmed that the technocrats are not something to run headfirst at. Later on in the evening, all six gathered to discuss potential plans, next moves. Bjorn very much put forward that he wanted to actually meet with the Lupin and try and resettle this treaty, create peace amongst the two in the city against the same enemy. And Rebecca, Luther, Abraham, Dinah, really all of them, began formulating a plan to throw a large party that would slightly blur the lines of, it's a mortal party, but all supernatural are welcome. Trying to play it up so that supernaturals will show up. But maybe not everybody knows exactly what the point is. Trying to play the line there. Dinah, as she mentioned, is very iffy on this. Some of the others felt it felt a little more comfortable with it. But the planning will begin. As I mentioned last episode, Mardi Gras is actually, I believe it's February 12th? February 13th this year. And the 2 weeks going up to Mardi Gras are actually just week-long parties. So even before that Tuesday, our players are going to have to, keep an eye on their streets, keep their city safe, and make sure no one's going too crazy. And with this potential party, they'll probably want to get that going the next weekend. So last episode was a Thursday night. We're going to head into Friday night, and we're going to follow our little chickadees here as they solidify their plans, whether it's going to find some werewolves or going to potentially, hopefully, entice some mages to a club. So, real quick. Huh?
Hope just face palms so hard.
My heart, man. My heart.
Speaking of, Rebecca. Now, you do not have the same problem that the rest of this crew have about being awake during the day. Is there anything that Rebecca would specifically be worried about taking care of Friday? Does she have family, friends, business that is important to her?
Yeah, she does. She has family and a twin sister and work. So, I didn't have anything immediately planned, at least for this day, just because I have no idea if they're going to meet the Garu or do, the party today. So, depending on which one, after tonight, she will have more of a concrete, do I need to protect people?
Very good. Similarly, as a mage, are there any rituals or things that she would be looking to take care of with her avatar, her familiar?
Not at the moment, except maybe to acquire quintessence from her node.
And whereabout do you imagine your node being?
Kind of out in the sticks, like in the bayou.
Okay. And actually that makes a lot of sense because that is, in fact, kind of the reason these mages have been causing trouble for the Kindred and the Lupin is that New Orleans is ridiculously full of magic energy or quintessence. It definitely has strong ley lines, so it has attracted multiple areas of supernatural beings, and especially including mages, compared to some cities that might be a little more dead in the waters. Let's see. So, Friday night, each of you, slowly awaken from your slumber. And, I would actually I was gonna do this last episode and then forgot. So I would like everyone to roll a number-sided die equal to your blood pool.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Because I never actually kept track of it the entire New York game.
I meant your max blood pool, so...
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
I forgot to calculate.
Hold on, I'm gonna
What
find...
generation are you, bro?
I forgot. Hold on.
What's the
I'm
max?
so professional!
What's the max
motherfucker.
for Gen 6?
16, 15?
6th?
16?
Hold on, I'm double checking because I don't want to say it
Eighth.
wrong. Alright, so your max blood pool for 6 is 30. For 7, it's 20. Who's what?
I'm 8.
That's 15.
Alright.
Abraham, what are you doing at night?
Natural 20. That's what I'm doing. I'm rolling like Roland can't.
That's just...
So then, what do I'm sorry. If my thing is 15, what do I roll?
Just roll, you can do,
Yeah.
you know...
Slash
R,
roll. 1D, 115, or, you know.
minus 5.
Hey, Koznark! Welcome to the club!
Y'all are just
Just a-
killing hobos, ain't you?
What am I?
I
I'm
can't
sorry.
use
What am I doing? Just a D20 minus 5, basically, or what?
You can type, slash R... Is it space, Sabani?
Slash R space 1...
D15.
Also, I'm only killing hobos.
We'll do this.
Welcome to the beast.
Just quick question. I don't have to do this, right? This is not.
No, you're
Okay.
fine.
Please don't do this to me.
Well, just out of curiosity, how many blood points is in the mage? Just in case.
10 or 20. I can pull it up.
How the
but
hell
I
did
don't
I
want
even
to
get
because
this
I'm
low?
lazy.
There's no
Uh,
way.
No, absolutely. I was gonna say for it with a minimum of 5. You're hungry, but you're not gonna wake up ravenous.
What the hell was I doing?
I don't know. Maybe your
all
party
that's
planning. Maybe your party planning took over your life and you just forgot.
What to party plan? Only
All I
until-
know,
Am I right?
all I know is the only way I was feeding on hobos is if they were on LSD and thought I was some kind of monster.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Well,
but we
and
still have
also felt disdain for that monster.
I don't like that monster very much. I look down on thee.
What a trashy monster.
Okay, well, it would have to be hobos for Kozdark, and then for Abraham, you went to like the fanciest party you could find, just
Yeah,
wearing
like-
nothing
But
but
I'm
rags.
picturing like trust fund brats.
Yeah.
Like went to a frat. The you have to buy into this frat at college.
Yeah.
All I'm picturing right now is the beginning of Beauty and the Beast, the like hunched over old lady at the window with like the beautiful people inside.
Yes.
Oh, so Theo doesn't feed on hobos? They smell bad?
So what's his type?
Does he have a type?
Good smelling
Blondes.
people.
Okay, so he went to a bathhouse? I don't
Potpourri salesman. Traveling potpourri salesman.
What he does,
but
is
like
he,
a congregation of them.
what he does is he just carries
right,
around
yeah,
a
yeah,
traveling
they-
satchel
come
of
on.
bath bombs.
Come on, you know what time of year it is. They have the potpourri con this time of year.
Yeah,
He drags
Potpourri
people into the river and then throws bath bombs in, and then he goes.
No, it's potpourri con.
Swishes
That's
them
what's happening
around
this
a
time of year.
little, and then he's like, "Now I can eat."
It's called PopeCon.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say it's called PopCon. Don't say Potpourri-con.
Well, it's PoCon because PopeCon is a religious thing.
All
No,
right,
they compete.
all right, children.
Actually, that's Catholicon, but
Oh my god. Focus, guys.
All right, Dinah, you wake up. Where do you live? Do you have a nice little apartment, townhouse?
Yeah, I have a townhouse.
Okay.
Closer to the city center in a nicer neighborhood.
All right. So, Dinah, you wake up and you can decide why, but maybe a mix of being busy, maybe you were using some disciplines or something along the way. You just realize it has been a good couple nights since you fed and you are feeling very hungry. That's going to be kind of your first priority tonight.
All right. Okay. Cool. Yep.
All right.
Is the party tonight, or are we planning more tonight?
No, it was supposed to be that you guys decided to do this thing, so you were going to plan the party, and of course, because you wanted to really pull in some potentially good people, you would want to advertise. So I was even considering, maybe you were thinking next weekend, and we might even be able to do an actual time skip for once. We'll see how that goes.
Blasphemy.
I know. All right. So Dinah, you wake up. You're hungry. Let me. Now you do actually have herd. You also have status and plenty of different places you would know to go, kindred specific places, as well as just other clubs, venues, even small restaurants with dark back rooms. Where do you think you would go hunting?
I would probably, if I'm this hungry, there's no point in making it fun and dragging it out. I would just kind of go to one of my herd's house, who is she is a drummer who does she does do jazz drumming, but she mainly just kind of is she's a drummer for a rock band that I helped hook her up with a little, and her name will be Heather.
All right, so you head over. Do you give her a call ahead of time or just kind of pop over?
No, I'll call her. Yeah, I'd let her know I'm coming over.
All right, so Heather answers her phone, and you can hear some weird scrambling in the background. And she's, "Hey, Dina, what's up?"
Dinah,
sorry.
God damn it! That's like the 17th time. All right. Anyway, nothing. I'm doing fairly well. How about you today? Huh?
Oh, and then you hear something fall off a table. I'm good, just a little all over the place. Is there something you needed?
Yes, actually, it's your turn.
Oh, of course, yeah. And then you hear her it sounds like she's picking up a bunch of magazines off of the floor and kind of fixing up something on a table. Yeah. Just give me 15 minutes. I'll be good.
Do you need help?
No. I'm all right. Just been a busy week. I just want to clean up a bit before you get here.
All right, sure. You don't have to clean for me, honey.
I don't want you. Yeah. 15 minutes. I'll see you then.
All right.
So, Dinah goes over to Heather's small apartment. It's a pretty old building, little on the dingy side. There's, trash bags sitting outside the building. On the stairs and even outside a couple doors. Some of the windows look like they've been patched and boarded. But otherwise, it doesn't seem too dangerous a neighborhood. Just a little poor. And you go up to her apartment door, knocking. You hear another small bit of scrambling, but she opens the door. Cute young girl with short cut hair and kind of like you said, because she's interested in jazz and rock. She has a leather jacket and a plain top. But some actual kind of nice trousers with some nice black shoes. So she lets you inside and smiles. Looks a little jumpy, but then kind of leans in, touches your arm, and gives you a little kiss on the cheek. Hi, Dinah. How's it going?
It's going to be an interesting day, I think. I just woke up a little bit the worse for wear, so.
Oh, we all do that. As you look around the apartment, she has okay looking furniture, but definitely her income level is apparent. It's looks like furniture she's probably picked up, and you can definitely tell even just from those sounds that she was scrambling to get everything at least tidied up. And there's a few magazine piles. She's got a set of drumsticks just laid out on a table. Her drum set, however, in the corner of the room with a lot of padding against the walls to try and practice without killing her neighbors, is in pristine condition, and there's no trash or anything, no clothes or anything. Looks like a little temple to it.
That's adorable.
And she, looks a little awkward, but not uncomfortable with the situation. And she just her hair is short, but she still tries to, just brush it away. I don't know if you're in a rush or if you,
Oh, no, not really. But, no, thank you, yes. And, yeah, I'll go ahead and feed a little bit from her. Not much, only like, fuck. 1 is not hurting, right? And then 2 is like, okay.
One's not bad at all. As long as a person's healthy and ate and drank water, ate water as well, maybe. They would be perfectly fine. It'd like be giving a bit of blood. 2 points is maybe a little woozy, but otherwise still fine.
Okay. Yeah. Fuck, I'm really fucking hungry. I'll go ahead and take 2 because I don't know if I could stop that, but yeah.
All right, so Dinah goes to feed on Heather, and as she bites down, Heather feels the kiss and is reminded once again why she has no problem being a member of Dinah's herd. And Dinah gets that delicious, fresh taste of blood in her mouth, and while she was maybe thinking of only taking 1 point, she kind of lets herself go and takes a little bit more, but gains control and licks the wound clean and steps back with Heather standing there. She takes a step back to make sure she catches herself and her balance remains steady. Never really it's always the same, but not complaining. It's
No, thank you, honey. Thank you. I appreciate that. What happened?
we dropped.
We lost Jar! We lost Jar Clubber!
No! Thank you, Koznark.
Hey guys, I'm
Score.
Theo. What's up?
Dude, this sounded. What are you, boggling?
I don't know Theo's voice. It just came
All I
out.
can see is my forehead.
His modems
Howdy,
were
y'all.
connected.
I'm Dinah, whatever.
God fucking damn it. It's Dinah.
I only
It's
messed up
Dina.
once.
Okay, guys.
I know.
Let's continue. I'm
is
Theo,
only
or
ever
whatever
always
his voice
Dina.
is. I haven't heard it tonight, so I don't know. But I can pull body parts off me.
Hey, I'm Becky from the block.
Shut your goddamn mouth!
Shard.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
so basic.
But yeah, Elvish, welcome to the awkwardness that is feeding from a member of a herd.
Are you kidding me? I find it far less awkward.
Eh.
I find it a lot
shit,
less
I'm
awkward.
half Theo, and what's the other half?
I'm
You
I'm
are-
myself and also Dinah.
I am a vampire agriculturalist, thank you. I grow my own consensual blood.
Shard seems to actually be off audio and mic as well.
He said he's restarting his modem.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I would say it was really only a little bit awkward with Heather because she's as I improv'd, a little bit more of a spaz.
I thought it was cute. Don't worry about it.
Like she's chill with it, but it's just kind of like, oh, how do we do this?
I had fun feeding.
Do you know what background I did not take? Herd.
Hey, me either.
You know which background I wish I took? Like
Herd.
allies or contacts. Like maybe I should know people.
We
But you know me, and that's the best ally.
You guys are
That's fair.
still in the workaround window. This will be like the week where I say, all right, look at your sheets. Let me know if you want to change anything, and we'll go from there. That'll be permanent. Yeah, I was gonna bring up when we had like our finalize your sheet conversation
Right.
if any of you wanted herd or ghouls or anything, because you're pretty
No,
old.
I'm changing to Bruja now.
Well, I mean, no.
I
I thought that he's missing. You can go now.
Guys,
God
the
damn
next
cameras.
time we play everyone as John, we should all do voices inside of a Malk's head.
That could be fun.
Think about it, Zibs.
wanted to change up that music a bit. It's been going for a little while.
But yeah, no, I don't know, the camera's messed up, but essentially, Dino would kind of like hang around a little bit and be like, is there anything you need? Like, are you doing all right? Like, how's that song you've been working on? You know.
Yeah, and Heather would be excited for you to ask her about the music, and she would tell you that the one song she was really excited about is doing well, and her one band, the more rock-centered one than the jazz one, has gotten a couple small gigs, and she's gonna give you a bit of a shy smile and ask, if you know of anything though, I could certainly, use anything around the weekends.
I actually do. How about next weekend? I actually am going to be singing at XYZ Club that we haven't established yet. And I could use a drummer as part of our backup. I need to connect a couple other musicians, but I would be honored if you would play the drums.
Oh, absolutely, that sounds great. Which style?
This would be jazz. We're harkening back old school for Mardi Gras.
Old school, nice. I should probably already know a lot of the songs then. Won't have to worry too much.
Yeah, I'll give you a set list. Mm-hmm.
That'd be fantastic. I really appreciate it, Dinah. You know what? I can even, if you need extra players, I can definitely check with my band.
That would be beautiful. If you could get at least one person who plays the trumpet, that would be perfect.
I know a guy.
Well, excellent. All right, I will get you that set list, and we might meet for a rehearsal at some point next week before the actual thing.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, you've got my number, obviously. So, yeah, just follow up with me. I'll do all the other contacts.
Glad to hear it. Thank you, honey.
All right. Now, Abraham. Where do you live? Do you have a townhouse, old house? What you got going on?
I think that I have a nice penthouse, upper floor that I tend to walk in the back from the alley. Lots of space.
Nice. Now, Abraham, for those who may not have heard in the character development session, has one too many dots and resources.
Just one.
Just one extra that didn't fit on the sheet. Yeah, Abraham's got some good money because he got in early with some of that stock business and knew he'd be around to collect on it later. So, Abraham, you awake in the evening in your room, wherever you sleep. Do you sleep with your puppies?
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, tell us about your puppies.
So one is a basset hound that was born in around the 1800s. He is a ghoul. His name is Mars because that's a traditional name from the time. About 15 or so years ago, he got a second dog. Greyhound that was he was a racing dropout. He wasn't very good at the racing, and so he got kicked out of that pretty quick, and his name is Mercury.
That's adorable.
And I can speak to them because I do have I took the so Abraham took or learned animalism from a gangrel way back when, so he could speak with the dogs of his masters for spying reasons, and then just managed to, that helped him raise dogs and care for dogs.
And there is a lovely picture of an old basset hound, because, interesting enough, they have changed by AKC standards over the years, so he has one that looks a little different than the standard. I think it's super cute.
Whereas greyhounds have basically been the same breed of dog for the past 4,000 years, so they have looked the same for so long.
Yep. Now, Abraham, you awoke, and you'll lose 1 blood point just from awakening, but otherwise you are packed full of that juicy goodness. What What does Abraham tend to get up to in his more spare time?
He does. He is a fan of just relaxing. He tends to do whatever is the modern thing to do to relax. So in the 30s, he was very big into going to baseball games. Nowadays, he has a nice gaming setup and like a Wii. He does whatever is the modern thing to relax.
I love that he has a Wii.
He does. And of course, it's he probably has an early release of the Labo for the Switch because he has the money for it.
Nice.
And yeah, that and walking his dogs, hanging out with his dogs.
All right. So, Abraham awakens, sees his puppies, has a nice kind of early evening, spending some time with them, maybe plays a little bit with his Wii or one of his other video games. And after a little while, you're going to get a phone call from Anthony. Anthony is a young, maybe like early 30s, black man, long hair that he like kind of dreads or braids, and you know that he is essentially Prince Marcel's right-hand man, but you also know that they don't always see eye to eye, and not everybody, but you know that sometimes because they don't see eye to eye, Anthony can sometimes work against Marcel. Not so much in a backstabbing kind of way, but just in a believing his superior doesn't have the right idea, and even trying to protect him from making a choice that won't do so well.
Yeah. Hello?
Abraham, hello. How are you this evening?
I'm alright. How can I help you?
I heard about the meeting the other day with Marcel, and well, I just wanted to know your thoughts. I feel like it might not have been so constructive to send out a fox hunt, as it were.
I think there are merits both directions. I am talking to a few people, seeing if we can figure something out. Homeless Obama with a cane. I'm sorry. I'm seeing what we can learn before we confront these casters. Gathering information is the best first step.
Do you even have a direction? Marcel's been tugging at strings for quite some time and doesn't seem to have ever come up with much.
We have a few leads. As I said during the meeting, I do know a mage, so I have learned a few things from her. One that is not problematic to our running of the city. Not one of the people he is looking for.
One of those other ones, I forget what Marcel called them. But you're sure she can be trusted?
As sure as I can be for anyone.
Good point. He seems to go quiet for a little bit, as if he's contemplating. It's very common with his character. He never seems bothered by silence in conversations, and is often the one to lead to them.
Yeah.
Well, keep me informed if you would, and of course, nothing you wouldn't tell the prince. And you would kind of, almost hear the wink in his voice.
Yeah.
But I would like to help in any way that I can. This is, of course, all of our city, and I do not welcome outsiders who look to take it.
Of course, my friend.
Well then, good evening.
You as well. So, quick
Anthony
question.
will hang up. Yep.
What, so I've known him for a while. What would I know that he is capable of? Like, should I call him if there's a fight? Should I call him, what is his skill set as far as I know?
Yeah, let me actually get that up because new game with 3 dozen NPCs.
Right. Yeah. No, I got.
Yeah. All right. Hold on. I always make sure I know their personalities, and sometimes I forget exactly what the hell they can even do. All right, Anthony, where are you? And of course, it's Ventru I pull up first, all the way at the bottom. All right. If I didn't mention, Anthony is Ventru, like you and Marcel. That's why he definitely feels some automatic kinship trust with you. But you two have also known each other for a while. He's actually pretty young. He was embraced in the early 80s, but he was one of those kind of progeny kindred that just immediately showed a lot of talent and grew into his skills very quickly. He's not very attractive, but he has a sort of charisma that comes from his stoic nature. He can pull people's attention. He does have good etiquette and leadership. He's just generally good in conversation. But he has more of like a bureaucratic bent than too much of a party socialite. You would know that you haven't really seen him demonstrate a lot towards the end of disciplines, but again, kindred keep all of that pretty close to their chest. And then being very close with Marcel, he has some good influence and contacts that he basically got through Marcel. A little bit without having to work for it, and a little bit working for it.
All right, cool. So basic, kind of stereotypical Ventru.
A little bit, but he definitely has a kind of like I said that there's a little bit of rebellion in the fact that he won't just suck up to Marcel and do whatever he thinks. He's got a mind of his own and is willing to move forward with it.
Cool.
All right. Luther. Where does Luther live? What kind of places he got?
So his sire would probably, I'm not sure how much you guys know about poker houses and things like that, but they're pretty much like streaming houses, but for online poker. And his sire would probably run one. And they would just be like, he just sleeps all day and he's up all night, but he lets us stay here while we all play poker and shit like that. And he would probably stay in there. So it's probably him, his sire, and 3 guys who just sit in front of a room with 3 screens that just play poker all night. Suburbs, not in the city. A little bit outside, but in a nicer area.
Okay. But so is this more of you said the streaming ones where they're playing online, or is there also the table where people come and talk ponies?
I mean, yeah, there'd probably be a table for whenever they wanted to link up with another poker house or something like that. Usually most poker houses are over in Vegas, but with New Orleans and their weird little casinos and whatever they have, they do have them there as well. So yeah, they also have a table, and they'll invite people for home games whenever they get tired of staring at a bunch of screens. So yeah.
So are these mainly mortals that don't understand what kindred are, or a lot of ghouls and herd and people in the know?
Yeah, it could definitely be people in the know. It's not strictly that though. There can definitely be people who don't know, but he just they just think he's a fucking weird guy. Like I said, he stays up all night to play all night. So it wouldn't exactly be the weirdest thing for a poker professional to sleep during the day.
All right. So yeah, you awaken. you awaken in your little room above your poker house haven. And heading downstairs, you do actually see... No, you said your sire also stays here, or just visits?
No, yeah, it's my sire's house. I live with.
Okay. So your sire is seated at the small table with two other individuals. One you've seen around before. You might not be sure if he's exactly herd or ghoul, but you know he has a connection with another kindred in the city. He knows what you are. He knows what your sire is. And another man who is a stranger to you. You haven't seen him before. Can you describe what your sire looks like?
Yeah, he is average height. Let's just say is like 6 foot. Also kind of slender build. His points in appearance are going to be pretty high. Like let's go towards like the 4s. Long, straight, kind of blonde hair that he kind of pulls back from time to time, but usually just like lets it down. Just like your classic blonde California surfer kid, but older. He's probably around like 45-ish.
And did we have a name? Because your original story had it that you didn't know anything about him.
Yeah, I got a name. Where is it?
The fun of a new character.
Vincent Brimble is his name.
It's the most
I
British
love it.
I've ever heard.
Brilliant.
I love
All
it.
right.
Of the Brimbles, you know.
Of the
of
Brimbles.
the Washington, D.C. Brimbles. So sorry, there is a couple of people I don't know and some people that I do know.
Yes. 1 second. All right, yes. So Vincent Brimble, your sire, a lanky, about 45-ish year old man, though kindred and Toreador. Very attractive, almost a little bothersome in those 4s, makes you a little like, ooh, are you a model? And he is sitting at a table with a guy in his about mid-30s. He's got short black hair, slicked back, a little bit of a stubble on his face, little portly, not fat, just got a little extra around the tummy, sitting at a table. You know this guy, his name's Gary, and like I said, you know he knows about kindred, whether he's a ghoul, herd, a contact, an ally, you're not sure, but you know, you've seen him around, and speaking directly with Vincent about some different business that is a little more under the Masquerade. But there's another man sitting across from him. He's got a little more of a high and tight haircut and looks like in pretty good shape. Just looking at him, you might get that feeling of maybe like ex-military. But you don't know anything about him. So the 3 of them are sitting at the small table. They've got, you know, glasses of whiskey out amongst some ashtrays with cigarettes and a cigar in it, and a bunch of chips laid out, each of them with a couple cards. They're obviously playing Texas, because there's a small river started in the middle of the table. Vincent looks up and gives you a big flashing smile. Luther, kind of you to join us.
Oh, well, good afternoon, y'all. And, well, of course, I know you, Gary, but what's your name, sir?
The man sitting at the other side of the table gives you a very firm nod and actually then stands up almost as if he feels like he'd forgotten his manners and walks toward you with a hand outstretched. Otto Thompson, how do you do?
I'll shake his hand. Is it warm or cold?
It is warm. You could even tell just by looking at him, he's got, you know, some rose in his cheeks.
Well, hello there, Otto, and it is a pleasure to meet you.
And he gives you another nod and starts back toward the table. Vincent points at the last free chair and asks if you want to join them, as they really just got started. Not too much to pay in.
Well, of course, I cannot say no to a game, and I'll sit down and start playing.
All right. So Vincent goes ahead and finishes that round of betting, but then deals you in. As your sire, he kind of just assumes what you would be probably willing to put forth, and it's about what they all have out, a couple $100, and then he deals you a set of 2 cards, and then sets the deck down in the middle of the table.
Is there like a kindred way of secretly being like, is this dude cool? Or is there like a commonly known phrase that you could slide in there to see if everything's kosher?
To test if you can speak freely in front of Otto or not?
Yeah.
I don't know of anything from the books that are like, this is what you could say. But you could just try and, like weasel an answer or a wink or anything from Vincent one way or the other. You have known each other for a very long time, so I would say you've got, a pretty good communication empathy.
Yeah. Otto, you've been playing cards long, and I'll kind of give a look over at Luther and just look at him and let him know, like, what are we dealing with here?
Otto laughs and says, I've been playing since I was a kid. My dad taught me, and then when I was in the Marines, it was definitely something to pass the time. And Vincent catches your eye and just gives you almost like imperceptible little like shake of the head.
All right. Are we actually going to play a game, or do I have to roll to see if I win, or is it like money that's just insignificant, so it's not going to affect my outcome or anything, or how do you want it?
Let's see. Give me, and you've definitely got the dots for it, so let's just do it for fun. Give me a set of... Give me 5 alertness perception rolls, because that'll be we'll say it's either a few rounds of Texas. Yeah, we'll say it's a few rounds of Texas. See how you do. Because obviously, poker is more about playing your opponents than the cards. Though the cards count.
So just against 7?
6 is fine.
Sorry, my talk button is the go back button, so now
You're good.
wait the fucking... There we go.
Hope, why are you dying? Oh, okay. I see now.
Because I'm telling Zabani that I am an American hero.
Well,
and he's
I mean...
mad about it.
2, 3, 3, 0, but non-botch 6 on the river with a 10.
All right. So, as Luther plays with his sire, who he's known for a long time, Gary, who he's played with a few times, and a brand new stranger sitting at the poker table, he handles himself quite well. First, 3 rounds of poker, he's really raking in some of those chips. Otto's looking a little bit like maybe I walked into the wrong spot playing poker. There's 1 round where you do lose a fair bit, but the round after that, you basically get back everything you'd lost and a little more. You're definitely the lead right now, the chip lead. Sitting at the table, and after that round, Vincent just kind of laughs and thumps the table, and he looks between Gary and Otto's. I shouldn't have invited him.
Oh, well, I hope I didn't sour any nights tonight, but maybe, Vincent, can I pull your ear for a second in the other room?
Absolutely. Gentlemen, please excuse me, and don't go running off with any of these chips. I got the money in the back. So he gets up and walks with you into a back room. Is something wrong, Luther?
Oh, wrong. No, nothing, of course, of any big deal, but it's just the prince started a game with me and a couple of the others, and I was just wondering if you know where to find any technocrats, or if you have any information. You haven't really taught me about them.
Vincent folds his arms and looks off for a second. That sounds familiar, but I'm not really sure what you're referring to, Luther. What is a technocrat?
From what I gather, and trust me, it's not much to gather from, but they're mages that hate anything supernatural. They just want to protect the humans, and anything out of the ordinary is a threat and must die. But the prince would like to talk to one. Apparently they have some kind of beef with the werewolves around here, and well, I guess he just wants to talk to them.
Vincent rolls his eyes the second you say mages and tightens the way his arms are folded, shakes his head. Luther, I really don't know much about them. I've heard about it from the prince a little bit, just to keep our ears to the ground, but I never wanted to go that direction. It gives me the willies, honestly.
I'm right there with you, but he made it a competition, so here I am.
You're, of course you are. Well, can you tell me anything more?
Do I know much more information? That's pretty much all I really know, right? From the information they hate us, and they wear suits. I know that they wear suits. They look like G-men.
Yeah, that was about kind of what Rebecca told you. She certainly seemed like, it was uncomfortable to even, talk about them. It was definitely a boogeyman situation for her. So at the moment, no, not really.
Well, yeah, all I know also is that they wear suits and look like, I don't know, kind of like an FBI agent. Just all in black tie, black suit, very boring attire. But now, if you could do me a favor and...
He puts up a hand to stop you after that bit of explanation, and it looks like the gears are working in his head. Now, I can't say for sure, but you know that Detective Carter, right? And you'll know that he's referencing Robert Carter of the New Orleans PD. And you know that he runs a little bit of an infamous group known as the New Orleans Special Task Force that are essentially hunters. Very similar with the Lupin situation. This task force has a vague agreement with the prince that they're really only supposed to hunt, vampires that have already been deemed dangerous. The ones that are actually causing trouble and not, just going about their nights peacefully. Not that the detective liked that, but, it's better than a war. So, when Vincent mentions his name, that's what you would know.
Little Robbie Carter from around the way, yeah. Of course I know him.
Yes, well, him and his little task force, I've certainly seen them looking a little Men in Black now and then. I can't say for sure if there's any connection there. All I'll say is I've certainly seen them looking a little bit like you describe, and for sure, well, you know what they're out about.
And and from what I know about them, they only go after threatening ones, correct? Not just...
Yes, he works with the prince for the prince to, designate, no, this vampire is, hurting humans and, even helping him, because the prince doesn't want that on his doorstep either. But the task force also deals with anything supernatural, really, is supposed to be, their credence. They're protecting humans in the city.
Gotcha. Oh, Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think about that. Yeah, I'm gonna go down probably today and go see if I can pull his ear a little bit and see if we get some more information. Now, if you might want to also do some investigating of your own, I mean, that wouldn't hurt.
And, what exactly should I look for?
Well, all I need is a name and the place. That is all.
Vincent nods, and so with his arms folded, just kind of lets his head hang as if he's thinking, going through kind of a Rolodex in his head, and just continues nodding. Yeah, of course. I know plenty of people in the city, and they know people I don't, so I'll see what I can find.
Now, back to the game at hand. Do those boys need to win some of their money back for you to take more of it, or am I free to go with it?
Vincent laughs at that and just says, "Nah, let him know what we're about. I think what I've seen of Otto is he'll come back stronger and ready for more."
Perfect. That is what I like to hear. And he'll kind of take his cash and get in a car and head into town.
All right. Now, Bjorn. Same kind of little thing. Where do you lay your nest?
So Bjorn would keep has a small apartment in one of the more touristy kind of fun parts of the city, where you'd find a lot of just kind of a bunch of places that would typically be Airbnb'd out for people during Mardi Gras, other stuff like that. Just a lot of, in the area that's used to a lot of not permanent residency, and kind of around like the nice bars or other things like that. And he would have a residence there while he's in New Orleans.
Oh, sounds like we don't have sound.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I don't know why I did that, but we're good again. So, as you awaken in your little apartment in this busy part of the town that's used for these Airbnbs, like you said, people that don't want to just get like a hotel for a night, they're planning on staying a good week or so, with these parties coming up, Mardi Gras. You awaken after the sun sets, and your internal clock wakes you up, and you can already hear tons of noise outside. There's even like some minor construction work, or, you know, some buildings that needed a little bit of a facelift before the party gets going. You can hear college kids who took some time away from school, and probably just some other young adults that saved up the time and money to come hang out at Mardi Gras for several days. So yeah, just outside, not necessarily your window, but wherever your room is, it just already sounds raucous out on the streets.
Perfect, because so earlier when we rolled for blood points, I rolled a 9, so that means I'm at 9 of 20. So a little peckish.
Yeah.
Perfect. So he's not the highest humanity, so he's probably woken up a little bit into the night. Right when, I mean, of what's been going on with the crowd and everything, people have already started to enjoy themselves at this point. And that makes perfect hunting time, so it sounds like a wonderful opportunity to go top himself up.
All right, so you leave your small apartment and you head out into the streets, and for a kindred who's a little bit hungry, and certainly for basically kind of a Viking that loves to, enjoy a crowd and some brouhaha. It really like stirs up your beast and you feel pretty excited. There's even a couple people that look like they're kind of just partying on the street. They've got, their paper bags with their secret ingredients inside and just seem to be having a good time.
So I'll put on the facade of being slightly drunk myself and approach them. Hey, how are you guys doing tonight?
So there are 2 younger girls, probably very early 20s. We dropped a chart again, I think.
No, Koss is gone.
What? He's right. What? Just shared the camera.
Oh, hey you. Oh, did it die? Okay, apparently he got a blue screen of death on my work laptop too, so
Nice.
that's fun. I'll have to
Go
check
straight
about
into
that.
IT.
All kinds of
Huh?
stuff. 'Cause, yeah.
I'm blaming his again.
Hey,
Again,
hey.
he jinxed it.
At least she has IT to go scream at tomorrow. So
All I
true.
know is that
Don't
every
scream
time
at your IT.
Kozark says there will be
Nothing's
no
gonna happen.
technical issues.
Yeah, I
Technical
know.
issues happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my laptop was actually acting up the last couple days, so I probably will have IT take a look at it, see what it means.
And my computer threw up the same error that it had last time. It just hasn't died yet. So, yeah, graphics card fix didn't work, which is probably the motherboard. So, fun.
Everybody just ignore how poor we are with our broken computers. Actually, you know what? It's been an hour and a half, so this would probably be a good time to take a little little break anyway. If anybody wants to run for a second. I don't think your hand's even showing up because all of the cameras are split. Yeah, up a little more. There you go. Yeah, there you
oh
go.
god, where's that hand coming from, Spira?
Yeah, I live by myself.
My suspension of disbelief is now thoroughly shattered. I just saying.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Now
sorry
how are we
guys.
supposed to pretend that there isn't ST favoritism with your husband?
We all know there is.
Oh, you guys should know the way that we act together. There's no favoritism.
Wait, gnome favoritism? So if I played a gnome,
Can I play a gnome? You said no to mummies.
Yeah.
There's
she
no
never
mummies.
said
There's
no to
no mummies.
She never said no to gnomes.
incidentally,
true.
I do say no to mummies in D&D. Like, I'm fine with it in Vampire. D&D, you're not playing a mummy.
I didn't even
Those
know
things
that's
are powerful.
an option. Is that an option in D&D?
I mean,
happened?
anything is an option in
Play
D&D if you have a GM that says it's okay.
But
I'm just saying, you cannot bring a homebrew race and play a mummy. That's a no-go.
But really quick, if anyone of you guys... Oh, we did ask for questions. Beautiful.
Yes.
I
All
didn't
right.
hear it, so excuse me.
So yeah, Lapzod asked a beautiful question, and I'm
A favorite
super
around
excited.
a favorite around here.
So yeah, Jameson finally released its IPA edition of Caskmates.
Ew,
so
IPA?
that's what
No.
I'm drinking. Yes, I know, because they've been doing stout for so long, so now they have the IPA version out.
Do they not have the stout anymore?
I would be surprised if they still have the stout now.
Because I'm going to be angry, because my wife drank a bunch of it in mixed drinks.
Because you.
But if you guys want to know what I'm drinking tonight, I have a little bit of Knob Creek, and it is
Nice.
delicious.
Yes, it is. Because yeah, so Zabani,
I
who's
didn't even
being-
remember that the
Okay.
cameras are messed up.
Oh no.
Wait, not...
Yeah.
There
my
you go.
wife drank like that much in mixed
No, that's
drinks.
even the cask mate!
Yeah,
in
that's what he
mixed
says.
drinks.
What'd she mix it with?
Mm.
Ginger ale? Oh, he's being yelled at right now. Anyways,
Root beer? Oh,
I
no,
love
no,
when it
no,
just-
no, no, no.
lift up.
I'm making her feel guilty, not the other way around.
Lift up
My
the
whiskey.
lift up the label. Lift up the label again so I can see it. Does it say limited edition on it? It does, right? In like gold letters right underneath Caskmates, does it say it?
Yep. Well, it says Stout Edition, and then at the bottom left there's a seal that says John Jameson and Sons Limited. But I think that's probably a limited liability company.
Maybe. Anyways, yeah, I think the stout was always a like kind of limited, and when I was there, I did not see
So
the stout.
basically,
So
what's happening is tomorrow I'm going to grab the rest of it that they have
that's
because I
what
don't
was
like
about to say.
IPAs, but this stuff is great.
To be
But,
honest, you don't taste the IPA.
But Lapsod, actually, my wife enjoys better whiskey than I do, and when we go out, she's like, no. You give me like the good 12-year age single malt Scotch.
Yeah, man. His wife and I I live across the street from an Irish pub. And we go to that pub a lot, and she always is like, all right, give me, and she looks for like the most expensive whiskey, and it's like that one. I'm like, God damn it, girl. And I love me some whiskey, but I am Poe. I will drink the cheap whiskey that is like kind of nice, you know?
All right, Lapsod, you have to send me all of the stout edition. Just send it all to me.
Oh, to answer your other question, at least, the soundtrack is actually, I want to get his name right. So it's actually there at the bottom left, Kevin MacLeod. He does royalty-free music that you can select in Roll20. It's I think if you want to do commercial use, you have to like at least recognize his name, put it somewhere. But otherwise, it's free to use during our games. We don't get any problems with Twitch because if you play copyright music, they'll mute the audio. So we always want to use royalty-free stuff, so we never lose any of the audio from our games. But yeah, Guy has some really amazing music, so I usually try to switch it up every now and then.
Yeah, a lot of this music is actually used on Critical Role because I keep hearing it and I'm like, how do I know that? Oh.
Yeah, and Kerbal Space Program uses 2 of his tracks because I picked them one time without realizing it, and everyone was like, oh, this is Kerbal Space Program. I was like, damn it.
Yeah. Though like they also get like Skyrim, like that they're allowed to play that. So here's hoping that we get like the soundtrack to like Underworld or something at some point. That
Guys, let's become bigger than Critical Role so we can use the Skyrim soundtrack.
do it. Fight them for it.
Yep.
Actually,
Okay. Like that won't take any effort at all.
No, it'll
Actually,
happen.
you know what?
in,
I'm
like,
gonna let
2
you
weeks.
know. I think they would win in a fight.
You know what?
Travis
Fisticuffs
Travis
fight,
Willingham
or
is a big dude. Travis Willingham is huge.
Yeah, no, I've seen
are we
him.
allowed
like,
to bring
good.
weapons? Like, what's the partners here?
Are any
We
of
would
them
be
classic?
challenging them, therefore, by dual law, they would have to pick the weapons.
Yes.
Okay,
I am
but hear me out. Screw dual law. We just shank them in a bathroom.
Kozark and I, as often, are having a couple little bits of some vodka, and we're also having the less sweet Angry Orchard cider. So, cheers.
I legit just had water and a nice glass of milk. That's
I'm,
what I
I'm
had
just
today.
drinking water.
Yeah, I've got this Lobo Negro. It's kind of a generic dark beer. Like if I were to look up dark beer in the dictionary, it'd be this. It's not bad. It's not great. It's just a beer.
Yeah, we actually do take questions. We're taking a little break just because we were having technical issues. So if you have any questions about the game, our player characters, anything like that, you can post them in the chat. Even if we get back to gameplay, just post questions. We're all in the chat, so if we see them, we'll respond.
We are very active in the chat. We like to engage with the community.
Yeah, and especially if you mention someone, like, at them, it'll be even easier for them to catch questions. Alright, well. Look at that puppy.
Real quick before we get in,
Yeah, no, it's fine.
just did ask one question that you can answer right before we get back into are we using a pre-made module?
Yes, so what I am doing is I am using the old supplement book called New Orleans by Night. I can get a picture of it, hold on.
Don't, it's so pathetic looking.
It's only because it's grainy, they never fixed it.
No, they didn't. I love you.
Okay,
It's
look,
a part of history cost.
I love my old books, so. There we go. It's not the prettiest because they never did a higher res copy of it. But it's an old supplement book for VTM, and I am using it as my base. So I'm using all the NPCs from it. I'm using the fact that the Kindred created a treaty with the Lupin to keep the technocrats out of the city, or, at bay, and a few other things. But I, of course, always mix things up. I want it to be my own world, too. And, of course, all of our players here, save Hopeless Entree, who is in the wrong box. Hopeless Entree is playing a mage from Mage the Ascension. Another note is otherwise I'm using V20. So most of the rules I'm using that base. But I also know I've also played VTM since like early 2000s. So sometimes I mix up rules or use old ones just because I like them better. You will see a lot of house ruling and minor changes in my games.
Come on, Hope. See your voice.
Yeah.
Nebshake had a great question if we want to take 2 seconds. I don't
Sure.
know how long until, but what were, if any, the outside inspirations for your character personalities with this session? So I think that's a fantastic question if we want to quickly go through it.
Yeah, I think we should go a little round clock.
I kind of typed it out. Well.
Well, at least Super Chocolate Bear, what were you thinking with Luther?
Man, with Luther, I was pretty much thinking I want to make the exact opposite character of Roland, and I did it. He is just like, he's not very attractive. He's still kind of charismatic, but on a different kind of level that Roland is. He doesn't walk around with kind of this like smoothness. He's just kind of a nice guy, and he is just nice, while Roland is just very cranky all the time.
Luther's
definitely
not supposed to be really handsome because he's the only one I've drawn, and I absolutely made him attractive.
You did make him attractive, but he's not like
Hey, remember the rule in my game, no ugly vampires unless they're Nosferatu. Or in this case, Samedi.
Even then, though, like for an ugly person.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, he's not 4 or however many points into appearance as Roland is. He's not so much trying to get by looks. He's just very calm and fun loving and just wants to just hang out. Chill.
I never liked the idea that 2 meant immediately like you're actually below average. It's just kind of, average. But
That's a non.
You don't stand out, and
Yeah,
one
you don't
would
stand out.
Yeah. All right. So then, Ziboni, tell us where the idea for Abraham came from.
All right, so I am a huge fan of my snowflakes. I like to take the stereotype, the standard in any role-playing game, and go against it. So my last game I played a Toreador who was into cars. This one, most of his stepping from the standard of a Ventru is that his feeding restriction is that he must be looked down upon before he can feed on someone. So that kind of goes against the self-importance idea of a Ventru, because having read the Ventru clan book, they all kind of inherently are very self-important. They try to make themselves look. I mean, they're called blue bloods for a reason. So I went and I took, using that feeding restriction, I made him incapable of being 100% Ventru, because if he does, he'll starve or he has to blood bond himself to somebody.
All right.
And then okay, sorry. And then I went with the rest of it because Spira said we could be a certain age, so I took that age, subtracted a couple years from it, and that's how old he is.
Oh yeah, another note, if anyone's followed New York or goes to watch it after catching this game, in my New York game, everyone's neonates, very young. Everybody in this game, save Hopeless Entree, who's playing a mage, are older vampires. So they've been around the block a little bit, and it was kind of a reward for all of these guys who did so well in their vampire game and learned so much that they got to actually be older and do stuff. Elvish Dame, what was the deal with Dinah?
Dinah was her backstory in any case. I absolutely named her off of the actual jazz singer Dinah Washington. who I love her voice very much. And
I do too.
And
Abraham's voice is awesome.
yes. And no, I mean Dinah Washington, like the
Oh
actual
yeah.
singer. Yeah, no, I love Dinah Washington's voice a lot. And then I actually, for real, kind of based her backstory off of it. I'm not even kidding here. Tiana and Princess and the Frog, like the Disney movie.
Bad.
It's not the same, but it's that same kind of genre of someone from the 1920s who was working like really hard, going to the city to try and like earn enough, but except that she really wanted to be in like jazz groups, and the whole scene was really just starting there, and she really wanted to kind of get into it. She actually ended up being in some not so great situations, but it's loosely based on that kind of genre and time period, same kind of thing. But like a lower class growing up with a family, and her dad died in World War One and stuff like that. So, but as far as her personality, honestly, she's I don't know. I just got this idea of like this really like fabulous Southern belle kind of person. So I didn't really particularly base her personality off of anyone in particular, but yeah.
Great. And Modi, what was your tell us how you came up with Bjorn?
So one of my biggest drives to making Bjorn was I wanted to go for something that had a very different atmosphere from Nate, because as much as I loved him, he's a certain type of character for me that is a bit... I have to overthink a lot on a lot of his actions because I put a lot of effort into making a specific personality for him, for being an ex-Zamisi revenant that was embraced by part of the Camarilla, and it's just, there's a lot of layers to him that you kind of start second-guessing yourself sometimes. So I wanted to play someone that was a bit closer to my own natural personality and a little bit easier. And one of the things I found fascinating was reading through was Odin was a gangrel who lived in Sweden. He's a fourth-generation vampire. And he had this... I've just always really liked that society of his Einherjar in Sweden, and just the kind of like wars they had with the Get of Fenris, and just kind of that whole thing going on. That when it came time and we were told that we got to play someone a little bit earlier or older, I've always had this thought kind of just rattling around that it came out, and that's kind of the things that shaped it. There were actually a few points in creating him that I tried to come up with certain limitations and things, and I was like, no. I'm getting myself stuck in a trap. Let's do something new, and kind of force myself to try something different. And that's kind of been the main inspiration for Bjorn, and the rest is kind of falling into place with those guidelines.
All right, and Kozark as Theo, the Samedi, our first Bloodline character. Tell us where you got the idea, what you liked about him.
So, I definitely didn't want to do Ike. I was really tired of being the like walk softly and quiet, you gotta carry a big stick type. So I was like, let's be loud, obnoxious, and probably get into trouble. I think we'll get there.
Switching from Ike to Roland.
Essentially.
Roland's not obnoxious, but he likes getting into trouble.
Yeah, but then also, I honestly, when even like session 0, when you're like, go, start playing him, I had nothing. Like, I had no voice. So he started with the Baron Samedi, obviously. Easy. Then the voodoo guy from Princess of the Frog. So we have 2 Princess and the Frog inspired characters.
Boom!
Facilier. So
the villain and the protagonist.
Right? So some of that creeped in there, and then honestly, I don't know how, but Batty from Fern Gully just slipped right into his head, and that's where we're going. Like, he's now Batty from Fern Gully.
I am all about it. I fucking love Fern Gully.
Yeah, so he's Baron Samedi, Vasilier, and Batty.
Perfect. Hopeless. Now, this is a little bit of a fun thing between her and I. Reached out to her near the end of getting this game ready and said, I got a spot, I want you to play. Do you want to be a vampire or a mage? Because Hope is our resident mage expert, and I was like, you know what? That'll be a fun way of me kind of learning while we play.
Hey, thanks for letting me play a mage.
No, I'm okay. That was leading up to what was your thoughts for Rebecca?
I really wanted to play someone who was just incredibly lively as a fun juxtaposition to like the elder vampires. And yeah, I think that like, especially as I was talking about concept and then working with Koss a little bit with his Samedi, I just got like super duper into this concept of like mage vampire bros and like really jumped on board that train. And then session 0 I think solidified it in just seeing fully how outgoing Theo could be, and then just playing into that. So I kind of made a really lively character, and I'm hoping to stick with that.
Awesome. All right, let's get back to it, because lovely Modi, Kozark, and Hopeless have been waiting patiently as I try to bounce around more normally in our games, but since it's such a new game, I wanted to spend a little time getting to, find out where they live and what they would do upon first waking. So back to Modi as Bjorn. Bjorn awoke, went out into the streets that are getting quite lively with Mardi Gras coming around the corner. And he sees a group of young humans drunk on the street having a early evening party.
And so where we left off is I had just last approached them and slightly staggering my walk, just giving the air that, I've also been enjoying the evening as well. Just approach them and, hey, how you guys doing?
So the group turns to you. There are two younger girls. One has like just medium length, darker hair. She's kind of thin, petite. Looks like she is going to be affected by that alcohol a little faster than her buddies, maybe. There's another girl. She's a little taller, a little stockier, and she actually has some of those like rainbow highlights underneath a layer of brown hair. And then there's 3 guys with them as well. There's one guy with kind of shorter blonde hair. He's dressed in really like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, just overly baggy clothes. Another one is also got short, like off blonde brown hair, and he's just wearing a hoodie and jeans. And then the third one actually has some darker hair, but like curly and tied up in a ponytail, but otherwise is like compared with his 2 other guy friends in nicer clothes. Like looks like he probably makes a bit more than those 2 and shops at the places that show it off. But they turn around and they're already starting to feel pretty good from some drinks and, partying with their friends. They're totally open to this cool-looking new stranger, what's-his-face, with tattoos and a mohawk and everything, coming up. And, hey, man, what's up? How's it going? Hey, you from around here? We're just visiting.
That answers the question I was going to ask. Beautiful. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not from here, but I've been here for several years now. So you guys are looking for someplace, a nice place to drink and kick back a few? Did you have any... Actually, no, I know a place. You guys like fun, right?
Hell yeah, we're looking for a tour guide, man, if you want to show us around.
Absolutely. Actually, there's this one place. It's not far. It's about a block and a half. Trust me, it'll be perfect. And with that, I'll just kind of corral them towards one of the bars.
Are you aiming for a more kindred bar, or just a nice bar has like a dark corner?
A bar that I would feel comfortable with. That's the main thing. Just whatever I've I would kind of know the general bars in the area and just like, no. I can get away with my shit here.
All right, let's see. All right, I have some set places, but for now we'll just wing it. That you take him to a small you take him to a small bar that's like, it has the size of a dive bar, but it looks lively, and there's a lot of like art outside, and even walking inside, there's a lot of, the walls are actually like kind of done with like mosaics of broken glass, and it's got a very like cool young person vibe, but not annoyingly hipstery. Just really unique and interesting. You walk in, and it's a little crowded because it's a small place that's relatively popular. But when you get there, there's definitely some booths in the back. There's an upper floor that is only kind of a balcony that looks over the rest of the small bar, but definitely like a very even more dimly lit upstairs, depending on if you want to take them to a corner to hang out. Upstairs actually looks a little less crowded.
Is there a separate bar upstairs?
There's a smaller one. So the first floor has the full bar, beer, the draft, everything. The upstairs bar kind of just has like 3 drafts and the basic spirits.
As long as it has the well liquors, I'm golden with that.
There you go.
So yeah, I'll take him upstairs, find a booth, and kind of sit down. Short, just kind of chat with him, be like, wait. Let's start the night right. Tequila? And assuming there are no dissenting opinion.
They basically all in unison scream, "Tequila!"
And with that, I'll get up and go to the bar and buy, so there are 5 of them, 6 shots of tequila, limes, and all of that good jazz. And bring it back where I'll set down a shot, and take a tequila shot, shove the lime in my mouth, suck on it a bit, and slam it down. Just be like, welcome to New Orleans.
Yes, and for reference for all of our VTM fans, Bjorn does have eat food, so while this will all have to come up later, he can keep down food and liquids. So all of them take their shots, cheersing you. Like I said, they've already had a couple drinks, so they're having a good time. The smaller girl is looking a little more woozy after a good maybe 15 minutes after that second shot. Her girlfriend, kind of is laughing, but kind of grabs her shoulders, like, honey, let me get you some water, just stay here. She goes up to the bar, goes and gets a drink. The 3 guys are just laughing. They're like telling each other inside jokes and stuff like that, almost like not trying to exclude you, but a little too drunk to realize they're like saying dumb stuff that isn't funny to you.
Also, just to make sure that my assumptions are correct, because I do not have a working digestive tract, regardless of the amount of alcohol I imbibe, it does not affect me at all. In order to get drunk, I have to drink blood.
Yes, of course. No, if a vampire wants to get drunk or high, they have to actually take it from the blood of someone who's already in that state. Just by taking the alcohol, it just sits worthlessly in your stomach. Although, you do still get to taste it.
Just making sure I had the right assumptions here, because this is the first character I've had with this trait.
Yes, no. If you want to get drunk, you have to drink off of people.
I'll wait around a moment. Is the you said she was shorter? Is she actually relatively wasted?
She's getting pretty drunk. Not that bad. Just a little wiggly on her chair, and that's why her friend was like, oh, let me get you some water, because you could tell she's more lightweight than the rest of them, and they've all been drinking the same amount.
Is there music going on here, dance floor or anything like that?
Yeah, there's a really cool mix between all the tracks kind of have a blues rock, jazz funk. Like, it's a very like fusion style soundtrack that's been running. There is a small stage on the first floor, but there isn't anyone playing right now.
With that, while the other one's out getting a glass of water, I'll go ahead and order 6 more shots and bring back another round.
All right. So everybody at the table is gonna kind of wait for the girl to come back. She comes back with a glass of water. It sits it in front of her younger friend with the dark hair. Each of them, kind of, they're drunk, but they're starting to like, now that they're sitting down, gather their senses, and they all like start telling you their names. I can give them if you want, but they're just starting to actually like chat and get to know you, and they ask for your name.
I'm Bjorn.
Pretty much all of the guys are like, they just think that sounds so cool, and you look like, and one of them, like the guy with the shorter like blonde hair, grabs your shoulders like, dude, have you seen that show Vikings?
No, I don't have the fancy channels on television.
Oh man, you gotta watch it. You fucking love it. You look just like you just walked out of the set. Like, the hair and the tattoos and everything.
Really? Hold on one sec. And I'll reach into my pocket and pull out a cigarette and be like, can we go, like, do you mind if... Tell me more about the show, and I'll lead him out the back into the alley.
Yeah, man. And he's gonna like pat the guy that's like next to him and be like, gotta tell this guy what's up. Be back. And he'll walk out in the alley with you.
I'll walk into the alley and take out the cigarette. I'm not gonna light it, but I'm gonna have kind of like half attempted like pretend I'm smoking and just be like, yeah, so I'll have him just keep talking about Vikings, and at a moment where he doesn't realize what's going on, I'm going to go ahead and grapple him and take my fill from him.
So it's so realistic because I think, I mean, like, I haven't really read all of the history, but like what I know and like what I've heard is that it's, and he just kind of like trails off, and you can like kind of get in on that little like little neck area, and
just kind of put my hand on and be like, nah.
And because he's drunk, the kiss ends up just making him kind of totally zone out. He just started, like, his eyes roll back in his head, and he just stands there quietly as you feed off of him. How much you taking?
So my idea is to make him pass out and pretend like, oh no, he drunk passed out. So like 3, 4, I don't know.
No. 3 can be okay, especially if you like find someone, but 4 would be dangerous if they don't know to get him to a hospital.
Okay, so 2 to 3, like just enough that, oh, your friend was really drunk. I'm sorry. Let me easily carry his body back inside.
Yeah, 3's a little touching, but he's young, so if you want to take 3, I'll allow it. It's
Okay,
touching
I'll go for
on
3.
bad, just for future reference.
Okay, just because I remember previously, because it was like 1 or 2, you're fine. So I was like, okay, then 3 to make sure he passes out.
All right, so you go ahead and basically take about 3 blood points. I'll round up. But like you realize, you're like, okay, he's drunk. This could be bad. You close up the wound. He starts like sliding down the wall where you two were standing. And you said you wanted to pick him up and take him in.
Yeah, just throw him over my shoulder.
Okay.
I mean,
go ahead and explain.
I'm a relatively big burly dude, and it also helps that I have several dots in potence, which makes this easy. So I'll go ahead and just kind of slide him over my shoulder, the fireman carry, and kind of walk back inside the bar. I would find his friends and just be like, how much has your friend had? Was he taking something else tonight? Because do you guys have somewhere you can take him? Because he just mid-sentence just passed out on me. Like, do we just need to take him to a hospital or something?
The two guys stand up. They actually start laughing and like they slap each other on the sides. They're like, I can't believe he passed out before Tina. Oh my god. And the other girl, the one with the rainbow hair that got the small girl the water, she stands up. She does actually look a little more concerned. She's obviously kind of the mom of the group. And she's like, oh my god, I can't believe he fucking passed out. And she takes out her phone, and you can, if you see on her phone, she immediately is pulling up like an Uber app and is like, come on guys, we gotta get him home. This is too much.
Look, I feel bad because I gave him alcohol. He didn't look this bad.
You're fine. I didn't see him drink that much. He must have been like pre-gaming and we didn't know. Let's get outside on the street. Maybe some fresh air will help. So the whole
group. The least I can do to at least get him in the car for you.
So the whole group is gonna get out onto the street and wait for their Uber to arrive. The mother hen of the group is kind of like packing over the guy, like checking him. I mean, he looks okay to her. She's like, all right, I don't think he needs to go to the hospital, but we should get him home, get some water in him. And the two guys are still kind of like ribbing each other, just kind of like laughing that their guy friend, passed out that easily.
And with that, I will go on with my night.
Koznarkus Theo. We already talked about where you lived, but give us a little reminder especially for all of our new people.
Theo lives in a old 3-story, if you can imagine a 3-story shack, that's what it is.
I thought last week it was, well, you have a couple different places, but last week they met in like an old townhouse.
Well, yeah, it's a 3-story townhouse, but it's dilapidated a fair bit on the outside. At least inside's pretty nice, full of trinkets and curiosities and all sorts of artifacts and weird stuff. Probably never locked. If anyone's dumb enough to ever go in there, your funeral. But he sleeps in there. He's a pretty chill guy. I would assume he sleeps in a coffin because it sounded cool to him, and he's been doing that, but he only started doing it like 15 years ago. He slept on a bed originally, but he thought like this isn't thematic enough, so now he sleeps in a coffin.
That sounds about the right time for like Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah, no, he saw it on TV. He was like, why don't I do that? This is amazing. So he bought himself a coffin that he sleeps in now. It helps that he smells like a dead guy, so people, if anyone were to peek, they'd be like, oh god, it's actually just a corpse. This is terrible. But, that's what he does. He lives in, like I said, 3-story shack. Everyone he knows is allowed to come and go as they please. He's definitely Abraham and Bjorn, longtime friends, are allowed in. Yes, Abraham bought it for him. But as well as Rebecca, he's extended. She can stay there if she likes. There's a few different bedrooms with beds in them, all fully furnished. She can stay there if she wants. People are allowed in and out. Just don't steal anything, or I'll find out. I'll end your life. It's cool. Whatever. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Right. So Theo wakes up into the evening in his old, disheveled 3-story townhouse kind of shack, filled to the brim with lots of occultic items, goodies, ritual tools, things like that, as he is very involved with voodoo, if not specifically performing himself, just very in depth with the culture of the area. Now, Theo, I know you have a bit of a habit of trolling your domain and also checking in on the humans that live there. Tell us a little bit more about what you might be doing on an average evening.
Probably running around the streets yelling the British are coming while handing out toys to children. Wearing like a Santa hat and flip-flops. No, he does his normal like check-in with, he'll wake up, take a little while, check on, just do like a stroll around the domain, make sure everything's like checking up, it's all good to go. Then he'll fraternize with the people he knows, the humans he knows, and have a good time, then check in with the prince, check in with Abraham, make sure everything's going well, nothing's exploded or blown up, and then run around the city, just spreading the word of voodoo or whatever he feels like getting. He's very impulsive. Whatever he feels like getting up to that day, as long as there's nothing serious to do, just having fun. Whatever little thing catches his attention.
So Theo goes out into the evening, as old as he is, and as long as he's been in New Orleans, he has claimed quite a domain for himself. But it's also kind of like that first row in Monopoly, where it's all the places nobody really wants anyway. So lots of land, lots of people, lots of resources, sort of, but not the pristine prime realty. But he loves it, and it's his. So Theo goes out and he starts wandering around, possibly sometimes under Mask of 1,000 Faces, which can hide that he looks like a zombie if he's worried about people who don't know who he is seeing him. Other times, maybe as...
Oh no, he Thanatoses himself. Yeah, Thanatoses his.
I was thinking of something a little four-legged.
Oh, well no. Walking around the city, though, he would Thanatoses himself together to look less like a corpse, but, like, still not very good, but it's enough that it's, like, not really that Masquerade breaky.
Tell us about the goddamn legend you wrote.
Yeah, I know, but he doesn't. You said walk around the city, but he also will troll the woods and, like, the perimeter, and run around, and he gets a kick out of making sure people catch a glimpse of him as a zombie dog. That there's actually a voodoo legend about him. People talk about the zombie dog, and it's actually a good sign. It's a good omen, because usually when that dog's around, it means you're being watched, that you're being protected. Because if he finds someone broken down or in a bad spot, he'll just trot around as the dog and make sure they don't get hurt or mugged or something terrible happen. So, but he definitely goes out of his way to create this air of majesty and magic and ghosts and all sorts of supernatural stuff.
So as Theo trails through the poorer districts of his domain, and even kind of like the outskirt old shacks out near swamps and bayous, he comes across one small little shack that he knows holds a older woman, and her daughter and her daughter's daughter. Basically just 3 generations in one small household. The older woman is in fact more or less a very old voodoo queen that Theo has always been pretty protective of. You know, really enjoys her company. She's a little snarky, in a very like kind of grandmother that'll slap your hand away from the cookies kind of way, and just, you know, straight to the point. And outside he sees her. He knows her as Mama June. She's just outside, like actually just kind of, she's got a rug like over a line that she's like hidden to clean up.
His pace is gonna quicken up, and he's like smiling when he sees her. Fuck, I forget his voice every time. Hey, Mama June. That's too rough. Hold on, we'll get there. Hey, Mama June.
Are you Mask?
Yeah, I'd be masked up.
Okay. She looks up, but she's clever, and she knows just your voice, which you, I'm gonna assume, didn't hide either. So she just kind of chuckles a little bit. Theo, how's it going?
Oh, you know, just out and about, looking for fun.
Oh, have any of you found any?
Not yet, but hopefully we'll find something good soon.
And she continues, you know, cleaning some of the, like, rugs she brought outside. Well, don't let me stop you.
How about you? Have you found any fun yet?
I'm too old for fun, honey. I just wanna get through the day, have a good meal, and get back to bed.
Oh, come on. I love fun. I know. I met this amazing magician. She can do card tricks.
A magician who can do card tricks. No, honey, I really feel like you're losing interest in life if that makes you excited.
No, but they're really, really good. I love it. Like,
She shakes her head. I've seen him on the television. I don't know what's supposed to be so special.
no, but like, it'll be like, ooh, look, it's a card, and it's another card. It's amazing. You have to check it out.
She kind of straightens herself up from, like, being a bit more bent while she was cleaning the rugs and is, honey, I know you're just losing track of what you actually want to say. So what is it about this girl?
She's a magician. I don't understand what you. This is. I don't get. Like, you know.
Like the things I can do? Now, you would understand that she is just a voodoo practitioner, not exactly what Rebecca is.
I mean, kinda, but cooler. No offense, Mama. I'm
She
sorry.
puts her hand on her hip and gives you a snarky look. She's an older black woman. I did mention, but yeah.
No, but like you've never like she could pull like coins from behind your ear, like woo.
Theo, what are you on tonight?
Magic.
Look, sweetie, what are you going on about? Is this just some charlatan that's taking your attention with a couple silly little illusions?
Come on, Mama. You know I wouldn't fall for all that. She's amazing. She's a magician.
Are you
How many
saying...
people do you know that can do magic?
I know a few who claim, at least, but, so what about this girl? It's real? Is that what you're telling me? And she actually, like, she sits down, you know, like, the rug she was trying to clean, and she just, sits down on a stoop near the front of the house.
I mean, I'm not very good at it, but I can, she's teaching me tricks, too.
She's teaching you things. Well, that's certainly something.
Well, we're gonna find more, magicians. They're called, technocrats. Technophiles? Technomancers. Dubstep, I don't know.
Well, it don't ring no bells, but, I hope you're the best, and just be careful, sweetheart.
Yeah, they're tricky. She might, like, steal my wallet. So, I didn't bring it today.
She pulls up a small pack of cigarettes that was sitting on the stairs, pulls one out, lights it, and takes a long drag, just very casual about taking her time between continuing the conversation, just kind of laughs a little bit. You really are something, Theo. Have I told you that?
Ever since I met you, I think.
It certainly doesn't change. And she waves the cigarette around a little bit while she's talking. This girl, stop calling her a magician, and stop saying she can do card tricks. Something else is going on here. Speak with me straight, son.
I am. This is me being straight.
Card tricks ain't nothing special I've seen in my entire life. I can barely, cast a ritual that comes out the way I expect half the time. What's so special about this girl that's got you so hot and bothered?
She's a magician. I don't think you're listening to me, Mama. I think you're getting old. She does magic.
Hey, the day you can call me old is the day we both turn to dust.
I mean, I can do that magic trick too.
Alright, listen, Theo. I don't know about these technology whatevers you were worried about, and this girl that's got you all in a tizzy, but I will say I was checking things for the city. And she's referring to, like, simple rituals she'll do for, checking patterns in the future and things like that. Something seems to be coming up soon, and something not too natural either.
Isn't that the point? But don't we like not natural?
I'm saying something that could be a lot of trouble for a lot of people.
Yeah. And he'll kind of like settle into like a more serious expression. That's we're working on it, Mama.
Well, I hope you are, because you're certainly one of the strangest things I've ever encountered, and if anything worse is coming around, I don't want it on my doorstep.
Well, don't go disrespecting any magicians that come around your doorstep trying to pull pigeons out of hats and make your fingers disappear.
She takes another long drag of her cigarette, lets it out, exhales while laughing. I'll keep it in mind.
And maybe be careful with that techno whatever music. Magic. That's it. Don't say that to too many people, but if you know I always tell you to look out for people coming by asking about your voodoo, right, Mama?
Of course, and I know how to take care of myself.
I know, but you said there's something special. Just be careful. Call me. Do you have a cell phone? Do I have a cell phone? Hold on.
My Henrietta's got one if I really need it.
Well, call me, or someone who knows me. Or someone who doesn't know me, but knows someone who knows me. Call a phone number, and I'll get to you, okay?
I will.
I'm off to the woods to try to find any kids being bad and scare them.
She finishes her cigarette off in basically only its third drag, and then puts it out on the porch, dropping it off in a little bucket that's nearby. Stands up slowly and moves back to the rugs that she was cleaning. Take care of yourself, darling.
I'd say sure, but you know. I'll catch you later, Mama. He's gonna start walking off into the distance.
She gives you a wave, but like she's already turned away from you, so she's just doing like this while facing her work.
And I'll probably go off towards wherever Rebecca's staying.
Okay.
You'd know where she lives. She's not keeping it a secret from you. It's like a studio apartment.
I will start walking in that direction. Is it far?
I don't know where you are.
I don't know where I am either.
Let's say no.
He usually doesn't know where he is.
It's
That's
fantasy.
true.
Who cares?
It's not too far.
So that leads us to Rebecca. You said you have like a small apartment, like studio, one bedroom kind of thing, just like a student's kind of lounge area.
Yeah, it's like I get like at best it's a bigger studio, but it's not too big.
One second.
Well, this music is pretty.
I was just thinking the same thing.
I actually only have about like 12 tracks. I need to add more, but I'm already loving the ones I picked. Alright, so Rebecca, you have otherwise actually been awake, but you know, depending on what you did throughout your day, maybe you didn't actually work today, so maybe you're a little more casual laying around your apartment, and maybe digesting that information you got the other night about a bunch of vampires going to look for technocrats. When the evening starts to roll around, actually just about as the sun sets, like when the final bit of light kind of disappears and now it's actually that dark purpley blue late dusk outside, you get something that feels not even like a sneeze, just like something like kind of trickling up in the back of your mind. And then you hear sweet, soft voice, one that sounds somewhere between male and female, very androgynous. Just speak quietly in your mind. What are you going to do about this then? And you recognize this as your avatar, Ambrosia, which you can go ahead and explain a little bit more about it since I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, that's fine. Her avatar is just the personification of Ambrosia, so it's pretty straightforward there.
Yes, so as a personification of Ambrosia, the food of the gods, their sustenance, the thing that drove them, and something that has been considered to be the most pleasurable thing anyone could ever have. Rebecca's avatar comes to her in the form of a very androgynous, slightly more male, but kind of in between figure, with a very calming, relaxing, peaceful presence, but one that also has a little bit of a drive, can get the blood boiling when it needs to, and often definitely comes to her at times of worry or apprehension, in which case she might be thinking, should I go forward with this? Should I explore this? As a cult of ecstasy mage, that is their focus, is exploring the world, new opportunities to learn and feel. So her avatar's concern for her is leading her in the best way possible. And if she is going to try something potentially troublesome, dangerous, making sure she knows what she's thinking, what she wants to do.
Yeah, no, she's going to not respond immediately to that voice and instead kind of look for her cat, because she is gonna try, I know this sounds weird, but she's gonna seek her familiar's advice in the best way of saying it. So she'll go and either call for her cat or just look around.
And can we get a description, look, and name?
Yeah, it's female Siamese. On the smaller side. Her name is Petunia, but she calls her Tuna.
I love that too much. Why would you hurt my heart like that with so much love? That's fantastic. All right, so Rebecca calls for her familiar, a female Siamese cat named Petunia, who she calls Tuna. I love it. And Tuna comes kind of prancing, little small, kind of gallop out of a side room, and comes up to you with a little meow.
Yeah, she'll pick it up really unceremoniously and just, so what do you think? Dogs or scientists?
Tuna kind of tilts her head and thinks about it, looks at you to say it again.
Dogs or scientists?
She, kind of as much as a cat can, purses her face in, a disgust at both of them.
Okay, yeah.
Quick question. With the points you took, can you do verbal communication, or am I right on,
So, I've seen it in some books that your familiar can talk, but I'm not really a fan of that. At the very least, they do share an empathetic bond.
I like the physical things you can pick up on.
Right,
so we'll go with that.
But
so she scrunches her face as much as a cat can to mean I don't like either.
Yeah, she'll kind of start walking around, and she'll put the cat under her arm. She's kind of really casual with it. And just start getting ready to go and maybe meet Theo so she can talk about it. Cause the cat scrunch is pretty much how she feels about it. It's pretty solidly she's with the cat.
Can you mask in dog form?
I don't technically see why not. I would say because of your weakness, there will always be potentially that smell, which will turn people off, but otherwise, I don't see why you couldn't mix protein and obfuscate.
A
Like,
smelly
really?
dog? A smelly dog in a swamp, you don't
Let's
say.
start again.
Yeah.
No.
But
Yeah.
you guys gotta wait a little bit.
No,
Huh?
it really wouldn't be
Dark.
unless this happened at least 4 times every stream.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
no.
it's our trademark now.
really, we have to thank.
I feel we would lose something.
You didn't do that on purpose because I thought we planned that. This is about the time we planned for that to happen.
I do blame Cause though, if you guys can hear me.
Yeah, oh, totally.
Yeah.
We continue to. And I did nothing wrong. Y'all should blame the producer or something.
All I know is that you said we wouldn't have any technical problems, and then we're having technical problems. That must be you. Get your damn hand off Spira's camera. Better.
We don't live together. What are you talking about?
Yes, exactly. Don't break the illusion, damn it.
That must be her boyfriend's hand or something.
I mean, on days that Articus is here, he definitely doesn't sit right behind me in the chair. And then I just definitely don't hang up that sheet in the corner.
Yes, Juan, stop putting your hand in my camera. I decided my fake husband is going to be some sexy Hispanic named Juan.
No, they're always named Sancho.
An awful. I don't know. For a sexy Hispanic, that dude's hand was awfully pale.
So I grew up in a small town.
We have bad lighting down here.
And the one landmark that
Oh,
we
he's not gonna
had
flip
is
me
that
off?
we had an actual windmill like in our town. And so when I when for a Spanish project in high school we were supposed to make a movie, we did Don Quixote, and we actually like went to go attack the windmill, and I was Sancho.
Okay.
I feel like a mustache on my face. It was terrible.
Okay, I have to say, as an English major, I have some very opinionated thoughts on things that are not important at all. But I will say that I do not think quixotic should be pronounced that way. It should be
It's
quixotic.
quixotic.
No, but
it's
it's
Quixotic.
from...
Quixotic.
Yes,
No,
but
it's
it's...
But it's
Quixotic.
from Don Quixote. But you call it quixotic because saying quixotic is gonna hurt
Yeah,
me.
so Modi actually know the official...
Because English.
Modi, the official pronunciation is quixotic, and it should be quixotic, and I am so annoyed by that.
I'm very happy that it's not quixotic.
But it's not that hard. Like, there's so many other English words that look even worse, and you say them right. It would also teach kids, to read the book. What is this fucking word? Quixotic. Why is it pronounced that way? Read this book. Okay. They wouldn't. But,
Or just do what I do and be like, okay, that's how it's pronounced. I'm not reading. Because
Yeah.
classic literature.
Hey, Spira, can you look at your audio again?
Yeah, I just saw someone said voice is doubling. Is it still doing that? Let us know in the chat, because as the illusion has been spoiled, Koznik and I are in the same room, although he wasn't holding down as far as I understand. So,
Yeah, it could have been sticky push to talk.
still doubling.
Huh.
Let me check if Discord's doing anything silly.
Some people it isn't for though.
Yeah.
It's
It might be Twitch if that's the case.
No, I'm not.
Guys,
I'm on
guys,
Twitch and I'm not hearing any doubling.
I think it's not an issue. Deadly Inhale.
Yeah, 2 windows.
We still love you. Don't worry about it, bro.
We love you.
You're fine. We have so many issues. If someone's like, this is happening, I'm like, oh, obviously it is, because why wouldn't it be?
How are you? How dare you interrupt our interruption with your
Here, I'll-
tech support interruption?
Right now, I will move my pizza up and down so you can see.
Shardy, are you going to be
Windows
coming
live.
back on video?
I take that as a no.
What? Yeah.
Look, I found charge. Thanks.
There we go. Look, it's all good now. Okay. Last we left off, Rebecca heard from her avatar, ignored it, which is totally
I
understandable.
mean, he just asked a question. She was like, I don't know. What am I going to do?
And talked to her familiar instead, and now feels like she actually kind of wants to wait to speak with Theo. We gotta move people around again.
Nope. Bear is stuck
No,
now.
everyone plays the characters they have the nameplate to.
Cool.
Just go with it.
Happening.
Still Dinah.
It was only
I
Theo and
did it
Luther got
the
mixed up.
entire time.
I do want to hear SCB try to do a Theo.
I have
That
not
would be
stuck
good.
as them the
All right,
entire
there we
time.
go.
He did say Discord was being silly, so we'll give him a second.
That's not what he said.
Well, we can keep going
Yeah.
unless you were gonna
Yeah.
do him next.
Well, I was gonna pop back with the Tories and the Ventures for a reason. I saw him nodding. I don't know if that was to me.
No, I was just nodding, be like,
Okay.
There we go.
I
Cool.
hear you, but I was
Nice.
And
Perfect.
action.
All right. Luther, Abraham, and Dinah, you've now, got some information about, like, maybe, like, how you might be able to find these guys, but you definitely have this further idea that the party might be your best kind of bait situation. You are all... God damn it. I don't know. Sorry. OBS has been a little silly lately. Sorry, everybody. We're trying to keep up on that. Anyway, Luther, Abraham, and Dinah. You get a group text from Joshua, the Toreador you met the other night. I mean, you knew him, but as player characters, you met him last week. He is frustratingly pretty and charming, and is part of the prince's household. He sends you an invitation to meet him at a local kindred club for further discussion of this plan the prince has.
Who all got that?
So this is like right after the opening scene, right?
Yeah, basically after you guys all had your early evening, Dinah met with her herd. Luther had a bit of a game. Abraham, you spent some time with, at your house, but also talked to Anthony. And a little later into the evening, Joshua texts all of you to meet up.
All right. Well, after a couple of minutes, I will say when have my hands full as I try and juggle my two dogs' leashes. Because that's what I do as I'm walking them first.
That's fine.
Dinah, do you have a car, or are you just like a normal city girl?
I have a car. I don't really drive it unless I have to go outside of the city.
All right. Well, then
She
I'd.
enjoys walking.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd send you the text asking if you want to ride or not.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Yep, nope, so she waits for Luther to pick her up, I guess. And then I guess they head there.
I'll quickly drive over there and pick her up and drive back to the club bar.
I don't
Yeah,
know where-
it's a small like club bar, like kind of the idea of, oh my god, baby, come here, shush. So there's room for dancing and that kind of club atmosphere, but otherwise it's a little smaller. a lot of kindred clubs tend to be on a smaller side because they want to, like, if they have discussions, they don't have to worry about who's necessarily there, and they just kind of invite, like, herd and ghouls. So, Luther, I think since Abraham is busy with his dogs for now, you'll go and pick up Dinah and arrive at the bar. It's pretty straightforward. There are much more risque and interesting and wild bars in town, especially a couple kindred ones. But this one is, it looks very much like maybe Joshua just wants to have a quiet conversation. There's just a few small booths, tables and chairs, not even a stage for any music, just music pumped through the speakers. But the two of you will see him in a back booth. Again, he's a younger, white-looking man, just like a winning smile, short hair. He's wearing a very fine suit and is definitely somewhere between like 4 and 5 appearance. He's very striking.
We'll go and sit down next to him. Well, hello there, Joshua.
Luther, Dinah, so nice to have you here. Thank you for joining me.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, well, of course.
Always a pleasure. What did you have in mind for us today?
Well, listen, about the prince's proposal the other day. He offered quite a prize, a boon from the prince directly, and in the likelihood of you capturing one of these sods, potentially favors from any of his household, or each of us. I don't even know what the fuck he meant. But, so listen, I want to make sure we all work about this amicably. I certainly want the city to be safe. I don't want any of these fucking magic illusionists, whatever they are, coming in here and causing any trouble, and I certainly don't want any dogs down here either. So, what are the two of you thinking? And we could wait for Abraham if you like, but you're already here. Let's hear what you think.
Luther will kind of turn towards Diana, maybe kind of giving her a look of just like, should we just like go ahead and tell him everything, kind of a thing? Just like, I'm gonna let you go first on this, and I'll let you take the lead.
I will say, especially as you two being Tories, you know Joshua pretty well. He's not as influential as some of the other top players in the city. Say, like, obviously the prince, but some of the other people closer to the prince. He's a little more kind of lower rung, but is close with the more prominent Toreador, his sire, Morgaine. And as you know, as I've said a few times already, like, yeah, he can just kind of win people over without really trying. Otherwise, you don't have any reason that you feel you could distrust him necessarily. He never seems like he's out for anything terrible. He just kind of wants to have a good time and is definitely egotistic about how well he can win people over.
All right. Well, on the day of the actual festivities, I will be singing at X Club that we need to make up the name for that we haven't done yet. So I'll be trying to keep an eye out on things from there. But
to go into a little bit more detail, we are planning on trying to lure some of them out with, I can't really think of a better way of saying it. I'm sorry, Dinah, but we are kind of using her as bait.
it's a very interesting sort of excitement. essentially we are trying to see if we can't make this thing this little shindig sort of smelling good to those who might want to come check out things that aren't exactly of the mundane variety.
You setting a little fox trap.
Essentially, yes. But with me,
Clever.
dead rabbit inside.
Very clever. I like it. He's gonna look at Luther. You're part in this?
Well, I mean, any place that Dinah plays, I'm of course there to lead the way for her. So yeah, of course, I'm a part of this also.
Well, I'd certainly like to offer my services. I'm no real musician, entertainer, artist, or anything of the sort really myself. But you need a bartender, doorman, and he gives a very large, flashing smile. I might be of service.
Well, I mean, we're never gonna turn down a pair of eyes. It's not like we're trying to take them out right then and there. We're just trying to kind of collect some information while we're there. If you would like to join us, I mean, yeah, there's nothing stopping you from... Sorry, Alexa just spoke up. There's no problem with you just hanging out if that's what you want to do, but if you want to be a bartender or a doorman, I'm sure we can make some room for that.
Playing spying on technocrats. Alright, about this time, Abraham will arrive after having taken care of his pups and shown up at the bar he was told to go to.
No, I'll hobble in.
So Abraham hobbles into the generic lower, not lower class, just generic bar, and spots immediately Luther, Dinah, and Joshua in the back.
I will beeline for them and sit right down.
Yep. Joshua will move over so you can sit on the other side, so the three of you aren't cramped on one end, and he reaches out a hand to shake yours. Abraham, I'm glad you can make it.
So this is about the plan for this event we are throwing.
And he looks between Dinah and Luther. Yes, they just started telling me some of the details. Dinah's planning to actually, I think, throw an event, kind of a little bit of a bait and switch.
Essentially, my very rough plan that I could absolutely use more eyes for. But though we do need to come up with some kind of way of making this subtly look enticing, if you know what I mean.
Joshua starts nodding immediately at that and then turns to Abraham. Abraham, I believe, now that I know more about your plans, we have a very special part for you. I think, not to make light of it, but we'll need advertisement if we really want to draw the most in, and I think you might be the man for the job.
I was expecting to do that anyway.
Well, good. And he's gonna give you like a good, like kind of friendly but soft pat on the shoulder.
Yeah.
That's perfect, of course. And he looks around at the three of you. Well, this really seems to be coming together, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, Dinah and I have put these kind of shindigs together before, so I mean, it's nothing too different. Just this time, there's a little bit more danger involved.
Well, we never had any trouble packing them in, but the problem is we don't want to just cast a wide net. We need a specific crowd.
Yes, I think the big question is, what do we need to do to draw our specific crowd?
How do we? What stationery do we buy for the invitations, essentially?
That's a very good point. Now, what Marcel has told me, and again, the whole point of this is we don't know that much, but what we have found out is this group we're looking for. They don't seem to like what you might call supernaturals all that much. So what we're gonna have to do, I think, is go with this idea I'm hearing from you about, like, kind of advertising. And of course, we gotta do this Rocky Horror Picture Show kind of shit of, werewolves and vampire party. But you're gonna get a lot of people interested. You gotta... Not quite sure how, but we're definitely gonna have to think about exactly how you get the right interest. We could potentially... he keeps trying to, think of some ideas. And if we pass it down the grapevine just around Kindred, well, that's all we're gonna get.
Yes, that's the problem.
Do you suppose that that these, what are they, technocrats? Do you think they know the word kindred? Because the rabble would call us they would call us vampires. Perhaps if we, or what is it the Lupines call themselves? Garu?
I wouldn't know any.
Joshua, at a bunch of your different mentions, kind of shakes his head, but then nods, and then seems to suddenly realize, wait a minute, that fellow Theo, I think you all know him, right? Yeah. Well, that fella, he seems to have a wide net of what you might call amateur magic users, right, in the town. That could be a good avenue. Sooner than just anybody come to this party. Maybe we find some voodoo practitioners, some Wiccans, some whatever else. Start looking in that direction. We might have something a little better going on.
We'll have to class up that invitation besides just, hey, we're doing a special on voodoo. Please, everyone come here. So, but I'm sure we can work something out.
Yes. Yes, I think that might be the way to go.
But I mean, I suppose.
No, you have a different idea, Abraham?
No, just thinking out loud.
It's also not a terrible idea to have more kindred there too. I was given to understand that if there was, say, a rather large group of them gathered somewhere that's more public, then all we have to do is exist in a large amount in a fairly public place, and they will come to us, from what I understand.
That's a good point as well, of course. If these are sort of supernatural hunters, of course we don't want to break the Masquerade and make any big problems for ourselves. But if they have some way of looking for us, and there's a good amount of us, that could be something. And of course with the touch of a Masquerade break-in theme, that could work in our favor.
That was the general idea. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A thought just struck me. They go after the dangerous ones, right? I mean, they're not. Of course, they want to take out all of us, but they're more after somebody a little bit more.
As far as I understand it.
I will say, out of character, are you talking about that task force I told you about earlier? Because these mages are different.
Okay, no, I was talking about the mages. I thought they were kind of they wanted to save humanity, so they were trying to hunt. Their top targets would be dangerous.
I think that the framework you understand is that they just don't like supernaturals and might in that way consider themselves not.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Oh, I'm not that. Those things are weird because they're undead or furries.
Well, then strike my last comment from the record.
What were you saying, Dinah?
Nothing. I was commenting on his last comment.
I was about
from the record. So
I was about to say something that had nothing to do with that. So,
go ahead.
Of course, the best thing would be to get as many aura readers as we could, because they do look different.
Joshua's gonna snap his finger ready, and yes, that's a good idea. Of course, yes, we should definitely get some of our best men on that. We're gonna pause here and hop back over to Bjorn. Were you saying you actually did want to go see Theo, or are we just kind of off on the night?
The last place we left off is I had taken a few blood, left the group at a believable state, and wandered off. So I'm not sure where I want to go at this point.
Okay. Well, as you trail down the road, because you're actually still in that same kind of area, the lively but transient area, a lot of people moving in and out of the city. You start walking down the road, and after a little while, you spot someone you know. Hold on. So as you're trailing along, you spot Roxy, who is one of the only two majorly or very permanent residents of the city among the Gangrel clan. Roxy and Laura are the only ones that really make the city still their home, whereas a lot of other ones were driven out by the Prince Marcel's complication with the clan early along. You see her lean against a lamppost and just laughing with a young man that you don't recognize, but you see Roxy, and she's got, pretty good perception. She kind of turns her head a little bit, sees you walking down, and she, stands pretty quickly and sounds pretty excited. Bjorn! How you doing?
I'll go ahead and walk up, the unlit cigarette still kind of hanging in my mouth, and approach her. Roxy, how are you doing tonight?
Now, what you know about Roxy is that she is actually the child of the Gangrel that created the original treaty and was the one that had the blood hunt sent out on once the prince was convinced the Gangrel were potentially involved with the previous prince's assassination. Now, of course, being Gangrel, you are, you're loners in a way, and at the same time, probably the most close-knit clan in, kind of just a, wolves passing through the night kind of way. She's got a very vibrant, fanatic but also kind of traditional personality. She feels almost like a Bruja and a Gangrel mashed together. She is attractive and charismatic, but especially perceptive and witty, and can still throw a punch. She's got kind of a well-rounded aspect to her skills and abilities. She doesn't have, say, a lot of, she's not necessarily highly educated or has a lot of, refined skills, but she can be a bit of a jack of all trades. She can just kind of get herself in and out of situations with little to no problem. And yeah, otherwise, like I said, just kind of a very vibrant, strong personality. There's a hint of Bruja in her. So she rounds the corner seeing you and goes up to give you kind of more of a bro hug, kind of that big arm around the shoulder.
And, not even missing a beat, I'll return it and give her a good, just kind of squeeze around the shoulders as well. How have you been doing?
Good as I can be. She's gonna put up a finger and then turn to the guy she was talking to, give him a slap on the shoulder, and basically wrap up their conversation. It seems like they were similarly kind of just passing each other on the street and just stopped for a conversation. So he nods and heads off in the opposite direction. She turns back to you and gives you another kind of friendly kind of slap on the shoulder and is like, "What have you been up to tonight?"
Really quick, the guy she was talking to, is there anything notable about him? Is he a handsome individual or anything along those lines?
I would say that you didn't recognize him, but at least he looked a little more warm in cheek.
Warm in cheek?
Yeah.
God.
little more color, a little more blood seeming to pump around. You know, you do know about people who have systematically what is blush of health, what are things that like sometimes vampires look healthier than they are, but it's a rare case. So generally, whenever a kindred sees that, you lean more toward horsey than zebra.
Oh, I'm doing well, Roxy. I'm sorry. Did I interrupt dinner?
No, not at all, Bjorn. I just a local. I know. I think he's someone else's herd, but he's and she kind of giggles a little bit. It's a little easy, you know what I mean?
It's just not the same if it's just kind of walks or sorry, I'm trying to think about how to properly phrase this. It's just not the same if it's if there's no chase involved.
She throws back her head into like a full-bellied laugh and then just like starts walking in a manner telling you to like come walk with her. I know what you mean. I certainly are kind. She gives you like a little like, you know, nudge. It's always a little better when there's a little more up at stake than they just walk up and turn their head, right?
I mean, what's the point if there's no excitement to it? If it's, you know, just basically no, but like, let's be honest, even in life, when was the last time you actually enjoyed a buffet?
She nods and laughs at the comment. So, ready for Mardi Gras? She says, looking a little excited herself.
My face will thin just a little, and there's this slight bit of grimace as he's not really hiding his emotions around her. It's just and kind of writes myself and just, yeah, no, I'm ready for the holidays. It should be plenty of fun. Just a lot of eyes will be on the city, and I hope everything just nothing gets too far out of control.
Yeah. Alright, so Roxy mostly catches that drop and change in your face. So she's not sure if maybe it was, you know, an actual change of emotions and feelings, but she definitely saw something, and she kind of furrows her eyebrows. Is everything right, Bjorn? You seemed, you know, hesitant about that. Something you're worried about?
He'll turn back, you know, just giving that or I'll turn back giving that just kind of like everything's fine, kind of like it's obviously fake smile, but it's one of those like just like no, everything's fine. Just the joys of being in my position.
She gives you a little friendly shove and says, I don't know if I believe you, but if you don't want to talk to me, that's fine. And she's gonna playfully take a little, like, faster pace ahead of you.
You know, lengthening my stride to catch up and just be like, I'm sober, of course you shouldn't believe anything I say.
She laughs at that and almost kind of looks around the street. Damn, where could we get a drink?
I mean, I've whetted my appetite tonight, but if I'm not opposed to, you know, taking things further.
So she hooks a arm like under, you know, the crook of yours and starts walking along with you. You can probably tell a bit by her body language she's not dropping this conversation, but decides to go on to small talk as you continue walking.
One of the things that should have been obvious was that Bjorn was I was making no attempt to be subtle in my double speak. Like
I decided to roll for her anyway. She's got really high perception, but I didn't want to just say
he was purposefully being like, no, everything is okay.
Okay. Then I will say that she definitely realized you were not necessarily lying, or yeah, she'll realize that you were like, just, we should talk later, or not right here, and that's why she moved along to just small talk while you're walking along. She picks out a bar off on the side of the road. You've been here a little long enough, probably walked the roads enough that you've seen it before, but probably don't know it well, and she just sneaks inside. She finds a nice little like place to sit down, and she'll look around and you can kind of see the hunt in her eye, picking up who might be best to grab in a bathroom, back alley, or, flirt with.
While she's looking around, I'll kind of just lean back and kind of survey and just be like, do you think we'll get lucky tonight and find twins?
She reaches over to like give you a little bit of a punch on the shoulder and then leans back and then looks like she's thinking about it. That might not be too bad. Easy enough to take them both home and tell them that they just had a little too much to drink, put them to bed.
Always a favorite play of mine.
So after she settles and like you can even see her like kind of zone in on someone she's gonna like keep an eye on for the rest of the night until they make themselves a little bit more available. Probably you've seen her pull the bathroom trick before. Otherwise she turns back to you. So you gonna tell me what's wrong?
In due time. My first question, have you heard anything going on lately? Is there anything that I should be aware of, because this is going to be a entertaining Mardi Gras one way or another.
She gives one shouldered shrug and just says, I've certainly heard that those dogs are barking at the moon, but not that much detail, just some things that have been blamed on them lately.
Unfortunately, I'm starting to get a little worried that there might be a little bit of bite behind the bark.
Something you've heard? She says, not trying to get you to actually say it yet, but just for a nod yes or so.
Yes.
Understood. So, that means they are, sharpening their fangs or God knows what else. She kind of, drops her head a little bit looking at the table and seems a little in thought for a moment. God, And you can kind of see this look she gets in her eyes when she thinks about her sire.
What do I know about her sire? Oh, sorry. God, you already said that. Yes.
His name's Jared, by the way. Terrible name, but I'm going mostly with canon in this.
Okay. So without going into more detail, something's on your mind, though.
I just want to know what the hell's going on in the city. Jared did so much to keep everything kosher, and now I don't know if it's Marcel, I don't know if it's them, I don't know what it is, but they're definitely getting pissy, and we really don't want them storming into our territories now, do we?
Unfortunately, it looks like Mardi Gras is taking place on a full moon this year.
Yeah, I heard some down the grapevine. But of course, being Gangrel, we're usually left out of those big parties.
Well, there's one benefit in finding friends in small places or high places.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
look, I want the same thing that everything Jared worked for. I hope you believe me on this.
Of course. I wouldn't be talking to you about this if I didn't.
Very good. Then, do you know anything else that might be able to assist me in this?
Roxy scratches at the back of her messy short haircut and shakes her head. I'll have to think on it, Bjorn, but I'll let you know if I do.
I don't doubt it.
She, out of the corner of her eye, spots her target getting up and heading in the direction of the bathroom and gives you a little, kind of just one-fingered, be right back. And
don't let me stop you.
Hopping over to Rebecca, who was expecting and waiting for Theo to come along, and Theo is heading in her direction. Theo, you arrive at Rebecca's small apartment. Ignore the dogs loudly playing in the background.
Bork.
That's adorable.
Bork. Bork.
Of course, they're messing up the bed because we're doing laundry right now.
Rebecca will let Theo in. The cat will be kind of on her shoulder, just laying.
Okay. I was gonna say a normal cat would not be happy with the presence of Theo, but being a familiar, it's gonna have a bit of a reaction, but it's gonna stay with you.
No, Theo's gonna come trotting up as an Irish wolfhound. A very smelly Irish wolfhound.
No, just animals have a sense about vampires. That's why inoffensive to animal is a thing, which Zabani took because he wanted to have his puppies all happy. So in general, a lot of small or more intelligent mammals will actually react pretty badly around kindred. But it's a familiar, so it's a little smarter.
Yeah,
I was gonna say it might be extra bad because he's a dog and a vampire at the same time.
It won't react with the flight thing. It'll just be like, eh.
Yeah, no, typically they have about human intelligence.
Yes, so the cat will recognize what Theo is and just kind of be like, but not actually run away. That is my impression of a human intelligence cat that doesn't like something.
Into it.
I'll just trot up and sit a few feet away, just looking up at her.
Yeah, no, she'll immediately she'll leave the door open and immediately set the cat down somewhere. You can come in. I would not recommend against using the litter box. That is kind of her zone, but
He'll just bark at you, walk into the doorway, and just crawl upright, switching right back.
Yep.
What litter box?
It's in the bathroom. I don't keep the litter box where I sleep.
Is that not how cats work? I don't know. Whatever. Hi.
She'll hug him.
He'll give you a hug back. And then when you let go, he's gonna flatten out his suit, making sure it's not wrinkled.
Yep. No, she'll do a lazy imitation of that.
Careful, darling. This costs $4 at Sears.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Hey, so this is kind of, I mean, I would argue that it's dangerous what we're getting into.
What, your house? Is there something in there? Do you need help? Is it the litter box?
It is. And I need help.
Okay. I know a guy who owns grenades.
Can you maybe, and just hear me out, maybe keep that guy on the back burner for either the wolves or...
No, he's a vampire. They really don't like fire. Did I not tell you that?
Okay.
Okay. So, is this like a critical litter box situation? I don't understand. Hold on, I'll call Bjorn.
No.
Dial up Bjorn's phone number.
God damn it.
Bjorn.
Sorry, you're calling me.
In the background, you will hear just no.
Hello, Bjorn.
This is Bjorn.
What's up, my friend? I'm with Rebecca, and she has a problem.
I'm sorry to hear that she has a problem. Is this... I'm hoping this is important that you called me at this point.
Yes, she said she has a very dangerous litter box situation, and I don't know what to do, and she said grenades were a bad idea.
Do you?
Yes.
What the literal fuck did you just say to me?
Are you... Is my phone... Hello? Is my phone not working?
She is going to try and tug your goddamn arm down to her level so she can hang up for you.
It might come off.
She doesn't know that.
He's good. Here, talk to her. She wants the phone. You're gonna hear it like going away. He's gonna give you the phone.
I am so sorry. And then she'll just hang up.
No. Before you just like don't apologize for him.
Yeah, no, and then she'll hang up.
I guess he couldn't help?
No. Okay. Uncle Theo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really concerned that either of these plans might possibly slightly get some of us killed.
I've been alive for like 40 years.
Yeah, no.
What can go wrong? It's fine.
Yeah, so that's not exactly comforting. Full disclosure.
So, come on, let's have fun. He'll lean in. Do you actually know how old I am?
You're like at least 30, right?
Actually, 36, but don't tell anyone.
I don't...
No, but I'm like 300, I don't know. Like 300 years old. What's the worst that can happen? I haven't died yet.
Okay, well, I'm not 300. I'm not near that.
Yes, but I can't do card tricks.
I don't think that's gonna help me.
Just find us a technophile.
Okay, so what if they find me and they don't find anybody else? Like, what if they find me before I can tell you?
Stand next to me. Also, I thought of this, and he's going to hand you a bag.
What does the bag look like?
Him. It looks like his arm.
Please explain a little more.
Like a
Out of character, even.
Yeah, it's a very small gree bag of his arm skin, wrapped up with a very, very nice lace.
And for those that didn't do background information on Voodoo just to watch this game, A griggery bag is sort of a magical fetish that has, depending on what's in it, kind of different properties. A lot of times it's protection. A sad misnomer or misunderstanding about voodoo is that idea of like hurting others with voodoo dolls or casting curses. But honestly, a lot of voodoo has a lot more to do with protecting the home and hearth and those around you. So a griggery bag is definitely kind of like more of a kind of protective thing.
Yep, she's gonna hold it very carefully. And admire the really nice bow it has, at least. And then open it and take a look inside.
There's nothing in it.
It's just an empty bag.
Well, I mean, technically it's a flesh pouch, but yeah.
Okay. So did you just, I'm guessing you had this on you?
What? Well, I
Is
carry
this-
them in case people need them, but,
Do I put my phone in this? I don't...
do you eat your phone?
I put food in this?
No, you eat it. Small bites, nibble, nibble. You know, like a rabbit. Ooh, can you pull rabbits out of hats? Anyway, no. We don't need immortal rabbits right now.
Uncle Theo, why do you want me to eat your skin?
Well, and just hear me out now. I promise I'm not crazy. I can stab you several times and you'll be okay. Come on, stop looking, let's go. He's gonna start walking out the door.
She will put the bag in her purse and try and get her cat in her purse, but in a different part of it. Like it's a dedicated pet carrier.
He'll notice the cat. Oh, can I pet that?
It's not up to me.
Does that go in your hat? Do you have a hat? Let me get you a hat. Hold on.
Where are we going? Where do you want to go? What?
Hats, come on. Oh, no, Bjorn, hats. Bjorn has a hat. Good. Bring the cat.
The cat gives you a very clear look of no. Just it's kind of like a blank look with very stiff whiskers. Just.
She will take the pouch out of the bag and then offer the cat the bag. Like not his skin flesh bag, but just the pet carrier.
The cat will look very... Tuna looks apprehensive, but then looks at you in that kind of like, whatever you want, Sailor Moon, and gets in the pet carrier.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Cool,
talking
cool.
cats, that's all I can think of.
Yep, no, that's...
Save Sabrina. It's my two go-tos.
Yeah, no, she is gonna stop at her doorstep, though. I really would like to know where we're going. Like, I don't want to be a downer here, but I don't want to die, so where are we going?
Well, you have a dangerous litter box situation. You could die in there, too. Come on.
Yeah, no, she'll lock up and kind of walk a few feet from behind him this time.
As ST, do I understand that Theo wants to go find Bjorn?
He's just kind of striking out.
But
Yeah, he's going in the Bjorn direction.
Okay. Well, you mentioned it once, so I wanted to make sure and you weren't just being entirely insane.
You know, he's gonna go find the group because he knows that there's plans of brewing, and no one calls him because it's probably pointless.
Alright, we will hop back then to Luther, Abraham, and Dinah, who are still talking with Joshua. Which is harder to say than you would think.
Yeah, I called him Joshua earlier.
I am doing my best.
See, that's why you just don't ever refer to anyone by their name, then you will never get a name wrong. Life pro tips.
That seems backwards. All right,
So you three were sitting with Joshua at the bar that he wanted to meet you at, and it was kind of wrapping up. He was just trying to offer his services and some ideas. He definitely told you he thought it might be worth, reaching out to quote-unquote magic users in the city, like finding cults and covens and people, like, even if it's just humans, but like that could attract the right eye. But I believe I'm sorry I forget who, but one of you mentioned that kindred would be a good thing, since they look, I think Luther said, if they're looking for supernaturals. No, Dinah? Alright, sorry. So Dinah, you brought up that, if they're looking for supernaturals, actually getting more kindred might be good. And he entirely agreed.
okay, so I guess we just need to pass along things down the grapevine, then get more people in on this.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Not. I don't mean in on the plan. I just mean at the place. Like advertise it as a nice little thing.
also, are we trying to make this more larger event, or are we going a little bit more small scale, intimate?
I think larger would work better, don't you? If we're trying to get
I
as
think
many
the more
as
people we
possible.
bring, yes, the more people we bring, the more likely the technomancers are to show up.
Just double checking. Didn't want to assume anything, but I
Yes.
also agree.
Yes, and Joshua looks at Dinah. I think between the two of us, we can definitely secure a nice big place.
Oh, absolutely, especially with Abraham's means, if he's not adverse to that.
Absolutely. I mean, I've got plenty of strings to pull. You've got your own as well. But if we got a couple bucks to throw on the table, I'm sure any big place will be willing to rent out a club for at least one night.
Well, I just know that at least a few of our persuasion won't exactly want to show up unless there's something they're coming for,
True enough, they can easily find blood whatever they want. It doesn't always necessarily mean they need to find one single location to have a party, find people to enjoy that. I mean, it's fucking New Orleans, so there's always a party, there's always music, especially around this time of the year. So we really gotta up our game.
Now, I know a couple of people around a circle of men that are interested in occult items, and I just came into knowledge of a man who has some rather rare occult items in his possession, and maybe if he's willing to give up one of them, or maybe gamble with it a little bit, we might be able to pique some more interest of some finders, some kindred that are interested in something a little bit more special, something a little bit more different. On Fat Tuesday.
Luther, that is genius. Yes, if we have a party surrounded with a topic surrounding the idea of supernatural entities and ideas and magic, and we have like perhaps a little auction off on the side behind the bar, items on display with let's say a little clipboard, put your bet down, that could be perfect.
Just remember to keep in mind that the more magic and such we bring to this party, the more likely we are to cause our own problems.
Well, of course, no, we gotta keep the balance. That's why we need to figure out who to invite, who to target, and So of course, having... He pauses for a second. Actually, we picked the right kindred to get to the party. You said, bringing those with auspex. Get
Yes,
some of our kindred who have some of those, and he taps at his forehead. Those, little spells and bits they can do to fix and calm people down.
Just
Presence, some dominate. That would be even the better. If anything strange
suppose-
happens.
the important thing is finding these people. Just, anyone you invite, let them know that the two important auras to look for are complete lack of aura, or it's hard to describe, a sparkle to the aura, a brightness that is not the same as that the Guru do.
That's it then. And Joshua's gonna like kind of slap his hand on the table again, like he does when he like kind of feels like he has an epiphany. We're not gonna just invite any old kindred, not just a quantity of kindred. We're gonna pick the right people to come, those that are interested and willing to help, those who can lend the right abilities, the right, qualities we need for watching and preparing and even keeping the masquerade safe, as it were. But then we're gonna kind of target some of the human population, perhaps, who enjoy that side of magic, voodoo, make it a big party for the supernatural aspects of New Orleans. So we have a protected side, which will still potentially, for anyone who's looking for supernaturals, see that influx. And then that other side, the whole kind of voodoo, magic, hoodoo, whatever. And I think we've got ourselves a good little trap with plenty of protection.
As long as no one directly approaches them, we're there to watch and see. And then if one does expose themselves, I guess we can try to bring them. Though I would rather prefer we don't push that on the agenda. And instead just look, see, observe, and then maybe
Watch
follow
and
later.
perhaps have someone follow. Yes, this was my plan as well.
Absolutely.
Well, there we have it. It looks like we got ourselves a plan.
Of course. And y'all have my number, of course, right?
Of course.
Sweetheart, everybody has your number.
That's how I like it. He's gonna start to stand. Abraham is next to him, but like he's just gonna kind of make the movement of moving toward the he's ready to all of us disband.
That's fine. Yep. Been a pleasure.
Thank you for
Of course, as always. And he reaches a hand out and shakes each of yours individually.
Shake, shake.
Shake, shake, shake.
Shaka.
Our cameras are gonna go funny in a second, I think, because actually he froze.
No,
But-
it's all.
Goes
Hey,
like,
nice.
rebooting.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Is
Fourth time the
Ooh,
charm.
who do I get to be this time?
God, I'm still just me. I'm always just me. Still,
Yeah, right?
every time.
Well, like if I get low
Get low,
down
get low.
here,
Oh, I'm
I'm
Luther.
Dinah.
Hi.
I'm Dinah, y'all.
You're mostly Luther, actually. That's weird. You're
Hi,
covering a lot of
I'm
it.
Luther. Let me.
No, I'm-
flip
Hey
coins.
guys, I want to talk about cats for a bit in a litter box. I really
And I-
wasn't paying attention, so I don't know what this craziness is.
and I just want to go play some music and sing, and I'm gonna go grab my trumpet real quick.
Do we want to take another pause and questions for a second,
Yeah.
or is Koss going to be back?
Yeah, well, we fix
He will be back in like 2 minutes. My laptop takes a second to come back. So yeah, if anybody else in the chat, as earlier, has more questions for us, we'll answer them now. We're gonna take another little break. Also, if any of my PCs here need to run to the bathroom or anything like that, go and take care of that. But yeah, we'll take some more questions or whatever else. We'll chat in the meantime. I want to get everybody back on camera before we wrap up the game.
Oh god, all
We
of
get-
us merging into one blood brother. That's kind of a just That's
I still think that it would be fun to play a single character that's like 2 blood brothers. Like early prototype blood brothers, and my one character is 2 of them.
Blood brothers are fucking crazy.
I'm enjoying all the sexy Modi forehead action right now. Like, this is nice.
The best.
This forehead. Let me just, rub it a little.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
buff it, make it shine.
Well, now I need to leave for at least like 3 minutes.
Hey, wife, can you get some wax so that I can really make this shine?
1, Spira, your southern accent is great.
Oh,
It
thank
is
you.
pretty good. Yep.
Richmond, Virginia alcohol is too expensive. That was ridiculous.
So, okay. There's a fun fact about the Virginia and Maryland. Well, no, I think Maryland... Does Maryland have the ABC? But I know, like, New Jersey does as well. Bunch of states have this thing called the ABC, which is the Alcohol Beverage Commission, which basically is everyone sells... So people who produce alcohol sell their alcohol to the government and have to pay taxes on it. Then the government opens a store and sells it back to the consumers, where we still pay ridiculous taxes on it. So it is taxed out the fucking ass, and the government just takes all the profit on it. It is ridiculous.
Hooray, Virginia.
But thank you guys who say my generic southern accent is okay. I've never really practiced one, so I was happy it's coming out okay.
You're doing great. Just remember that the one thing that you do need to say at least once, if someone pisses you off, you say, "Oh, bless your heart." That is
They don't
how that
have
phrase
to-
is used.
100% can confirm. My mom does it all the time.
100%. You only say it when you think that the other person you're talking to is an idiot. Like
Oh,
that's
no.
the only time. That
Oh, I
when
love
they're
it. No, I've known a lot of like southern people, and I like you hear them like kind of almost mumble it under their breath. Oh, bless your heart. I'm like,
right. Oh, you poor little ignorant thing. That's what that means.
They're just fighting words.
but when you
All
know
I
what it
is them
means,
fighting
it's
words.
actually so harsh. You're like, oh no.
Yeah. Yep.
No, my mom does. Bless their heart in
A southern Nosferatu? Oh my
poor
god.
motherfucker.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yeah, you
Well,
either do
I
it if
know,
they're
yeah.
annoying you, or if they're like they're
Pathetic.
stupid and they can't help
They're
it.
pathetic.
And they're just pathetic.
Pathetic
yeah.
in some way.
Oh, bless your heart.
Well, I do declare.
Hey, guys, can you get me some sweet tea?
The term is y'all.
And it
Hey,
ain't Thai. That's not how you say it.
Despite my residence, I do consider myself a northerner at heart. So, excuse me
Then
for
y'all
saying
go
That
guys.
was because you're a damn Yankee. Damn Yankees
No.
are the ones that come down and stay in the South.
and marry southerners and make our homes in the South.
Yeah, they're from the North and then
Yeah,
they stay in the
damn
South. They're
Yankees.
called damn Yankees.
As far as Yankees are
Difference between a
concerned,
Yankee and a damn Yankee.
y'all ain't bad, but y'all still a damn Yankee.
Alright, hold on.
Hold up.
That
Hey, hold on. If y'all don't keep fucking up, I ain't gonna do shit about it.
I'd accept it.
I'm into it.
I kind of want a little Benedict, trying to do Southern Benedict.
I mean,
feel like-
for off the cuff with no practice, I'll accept that.
I feel
I
like,
know it wasn't good, but
I know, but I feel like it's so much more hillbilly Nosferatu than southern.
Small hillbilly.
y'all want any sweet tea?
I put sugar in this vitae.
Okay, that was perfect.
Why do you think I am running a game?
All right.
Our dogs are killing each other.
No, it's okay. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Oh,
Actually, I'm gonna run for a second, so y'all entertain yourselves.
I mean,
We're very
I'm
good
just
at
happy.
entertaining
All right,
ourselves. huh?
I'm just happy with this here
Storyteller has
voice.
heard. Listen, I'm the storyteller now that Spear is
Alright.
gone. First order of business, everyone take 20 freebie points. Spend them
A rat.
before she
Now I
comes
still
in.
have 40 that I don't want to use.
You
I
now
had-
have
Oh,
60.
I never used them. I
Okay,
just
how about
didn't
I
put
do
them on
this?
my sheet.
How about you create a child and then spend 60 on her?
That's actually, believe it or not, gonna be the boon if I win. I wanna
So,
make a
first of
child.
all, as now acting prince, because I'm also both ST and prince, you are now given permission to embrace a child.
Fuck
have
yes.
fun. You have
Yes.
60 background or freebie points to spend. The rest of you take an additional, I don't know what I gave you.
I don't
20?
need your permission for that.
As prince, you do, because
All he's got
This
no.
is-
All he's got to do is just like go to a random city, embrace someone, say, "Hey, follow me," and then go to another city, and then no one knows where the child was embraced, and can assume that they were embraced legally.
Yeah, I'm well practiced in this.
we've all heard of Clementine.
We've all heard. Do you love all the play on words that we did for Bjorn? Because it was
Oh yeah,
one of
Bjorn's
the best parts.
Bjorn!
Bjorn Bjornsson, son of Bjorn, first of his name, king of the Andals and the Bjorn men.
Y'all's the
Bjorn.
Bjorn the Storm Bjorn. Mother of dragons.
You guys were having far too much fucking fun with that, because I just
It's
turned my head back.
That was beautiful.
Bjorn hails from the fjords of Bjorn.
Bjorn Bjornsson, son of Bjorn, first of his kind.
All right. As I understand it, the two Tories and the Ventrue were wrapping up their conversation with Joshua. They were kind of leaving it there. They've gotten some kind of information, helpful promise from him, but they're done. Theo has gone essentially walkabout with Rebecca trying to find Bjorn, but not in any specific way, like calling him.
I did call him.
No,
remember?
if Rebecca has his number, she is going to call him.
Did you call him? Because it sounded like you were just like, we're gonna go find him, and like ran off.
No, I was joking. I called him earlier. Rebecca hung up on him. Not my fault.
Alright. Well, Bjorn, you're still at the bar. Roxy went off to grab herself a drink. She comes back. If you had that call from Theo and or Rebecca, you would recognize that, just from the other night that they did want to, like, meet with you.
I'd give it a few minutes, wrap things up with
Sure.
Roxy, and after a little while, I'd step outside into the air and give. What is his name? Why? It's written right
Theo?
there. Theo. Thank you. Return Theo's call.
No, I was saying I called you earlier. Now it will be Rebecca calling you to actually get something done.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I missed the part where Rebecca actually called me.
Yeah, no,
I'm
she's
sorry.
Sorry,
I answered the phone.
I've also gotten thrown off a couple times with all the cameras dropping. I'm like, wait.
What are you? Is that hairspray?
It is.
We have a tradition of holding things that are not phones as phones.
My phone
Keep
is
up.
in the car, okay?
Go get your fucking phone. What are you doing?
This is Bjorn.
Hey, and she will take a few steps away from Theo. I'm wandering around with Theo, and I think he might be looking for you.
Stop wandering! I know where we're going! For a hat! For the cat! In order to go...
She's like holding the phone out so you can hear that.
So it's one of these nights. He does realize he has my cell phone, right? He could call me at any point and simply ask about my whereabouts.
Yeah, but it's like a stubborn man who just won't ask for directions.
Where are the two of you at the moment?
She will give them that location, but because I don't know where we're at, she tells you where they are.
He's gonna elbow Rebecca. Tell him we're in New Orleans!
We're in New Orleans.
Oh, that narrows it down for a second.
Did you
there.
tell him we had a cat?
We have a cat.
You have a cat, and for a second there, I thought you were in Stockholm, which would have made this trip a little difficult. But
Yeah, no. I'm glad I
Petunia
can
gives
help.
a sad, defeated. "Oh."
yeah, let's meet up at blah location. It's in between the two of us.
All right. We'll see you there.
Perfect.
Quick question. Luther, Abraham, and Dinah, as you leave, are you looking to meet the others, or do you want to, like, continue on the path of, you just have this good idea for the club situation?
What do we got? Like a week left before this thing pops up?
Yeah, we can even do a time jump if, we don't need to necessarily cover anything
I don't
super
particularly have anything
specific.
to cover. Yeah, no, like they
Yeah.
set up the thing, they pass stuff along the grapevine, they get some people recruited. And
I mean, we can definitely discuss even on stream or out of stream some downtime stuff, but like we could, to finish this up and then be ready for the party next week.
I'd be down for that. Yeah.
Yeah, we could prep the party next week. Have our first actual time skip.
The only thing I would
I know.
probably do is talk to Robbie Boy.
You want to talk to the detective?
Yeah, detective.
Let's do that next week. It's a little late. I want to,
Okay. Nope, we're
get
good.
the
Yeah.
party together or heading on their own for the rest of the night.
I mean, then I guess I'll just hang out with Dinah. If I'm not
Okay.
talking to him, there's not much more I got.
All right, we'll come back to Luther, Abraham, and Dinah in a minute then. Rebecca and Theo finally find Bjorn at another local bar. This one's almost kind of like more of a bar cafe, just like a small little chill place, not thumping music or even any place to dance. It's really just a late night place for some people to meet and hang out.
So Bjorn probably would have given a place slightly closer to himself, so we'd find him already sitting at a booth with a untouched beer in front of him.
Rebecca's got a girly drink.
I probably asked for like a shoe. No, he probably got a glass of ice water. And he's trying to get the cat to drink from it though. He's like pushing it. He knows the cat doesn't like it.
So, so the bag, it looks like a bag, except for the fact that there is like ventilation holes and like a zipper thing, but it's zipped up currently.
And a plexiglass dome, yes?
No, that it's not a bag. It's not one of those stupid backpacks with a sad animal inside.
I fucking love those.
That's so great!
Hold on. Continue, but I need to show chat what I found. Continue.
Yes.
But like for all intents and purposes, it looks kind of like just a biggish purse, except occasionally that cat's face might be visible from the side.
So how are you guys doing tonight? Sounds like you two have been having fun.
I'm really concerned, like, sorry, just jumping in here. I'm really concerned about meeting the people we're going to be meeting.
She's scared. But she has a cat. Like she's a magician with a cat and no hat. I don't understand. We need to find the mages or werewolves. I don't know why she's scared. I told her we'd been alive for like 50 years.
So just as reference, we were trying to find like a realistic like cat carrier bag, and I found this, and my god. Anyway, continue.
Let me out.
I was like, free me.
This is ground control to Major Tom.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
I can't remember what we were talking about.
You said you were scared, and I just called you a bitch because you have a cat and you're a magician.
Oh, that's right, because you guys have been along for so long, or alive for so long.
50 years.
Yeah.
Are you
Okay, well,
concerned
how-
about the dogs or the ones in suits?
Really both. Just because I don't know how delicate we are at diplomacy.
I have seen Bjorn drink kings under a table happily. He can take care of some puppies in the woods.
First of all, they were queens. Second of all, the Garou are not our biggest issue. I'm going to handle it.
I agree.
been
I
working on
trust
it.
Bjorn.
At least somebody in the city does. I'm working on actively handling things with the Garou, the Lupine, whatever they want to be called.
All right.
The problem is I honestly can't give you any sense of safety with the prince poking at this technocracy. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you guys heard from me first about what they are, then I am way more concerned about survival chances there.
So, yeah, we're all pretty much on the same page with this.
I asked you about them, and you said, "Oh, I can't find one." Now you're scared they're gonna kill you. If you can't find them, how are they going to kill you?
Well, because they can find you.
Well, that's the whole point of the party. I'm sorry. Is everyone who's crazy here?
I don't think that's a good question to ask in this company. I really wouldn't want to vouch for any of our sanity. Regardless, are you having second thoughts about this party? I've still the best plan we currently have.
It's a flashy one. My concern is that I don't know exactly how exclusive it's going to be if you guys are trying to cast a big enough net to find them. And if that's the case, I don't know how well we can keep track of everybody there.
I'm gonna under the table deceptive, if anyone actually notices with like perception check, deceptively adeptly one-handed under the table completely text Abraham and tell him that our bait's getting cold feet. Or that our mage, not bait, because you weren't bait anyway. That our mage is
Nice.
Our mage is getting cold feet. Help. I suck in social situations. I want to put the cat in a hat.
I don't know, are you sitting next to her? She might notice if that's the case, but otherwise.
I don't know, wherever you
Like-
sat. I was thinking maybe not, because you have the cat, and the cat does not
Right.
like me.
Yeah, no, that's fine then. Then I'm not gonna roll.
Look, I understand exactly about you having hesitations about this whole thing. It's not the best idea that we've ever had in our lives, but it's an idea. It's progress. It's moving towards something.
Look, let's get a serious idea of whatever we're doing. Why don't we meet up with everyone else and see what their plans are? Because, you know, we're not in the cool kid clique with all the blue buds and fucking pussies. Artists, sorry, artists.
When given the chance, I will respond with one. One, does she have another plan? Two, I didn't think she was necessarily a big part of this plan.
I'll just text back, where are you guys? Let's meet up.
Also, I pointedly ignored the cat comment.
So, Rebecca, what I'm getting at is we don't have a lot of alternatives, and there needs to be progress. The two issues we are dealing with is both the suits and the puppies are intertwined with each other. The suits are causing problems for all of us, which are causing the puppies to cause problems for us. And we have to settle this both simultaneously. We don't have a good plan, and we are running out of time. We do not have the luxury of taking this the way that our kind normally does. Methodical planning where we take years, if not decades, in order to figure out the appropriate, precise moment to strike. Not that that's particularly my style anyways.
Or mine.
So just be glad that for our kind, you're dealing with some of the greater of our kind's improvers.
All right. No, that's fair. I'm sorry that I am
I don't,
really concerned.
It's not a great situation, and you're welcome to your concerns because they're valid. But at the same point in time, we have to move, or we have two problems on our hand, not just one. And I would like to minimize that.
Okay, follow-up question. This party is obviously going to be, like I mentioned before, casting a big net. I'm guessing lots of other kindred there. I'm sorry, she wouldn't use the word. Lots of other vampires there?
Yeah. I would assume as much. I know certain of our kind are able to read auras and glean bits of information. Do you have a similar ability to this?
I do. My concern is now that I don't expect to get along with all vampires.
why not? We're great.
Just like I don't expect you to get along with all mages. Exhibit A, technocrats.
Any of our brethren that will be in attendance that night will be made very clearly aware of what their priorities are and what is not off limits. Our kind, the majority of our kind strives to not be savages. I find that a little boring sometimes, but you have to at least appreciate the rest of our kind's adherence to the rules.
Okay.
Not to, sound pompous or anything, but by sheer virtue of being, our mage,
She'll snort at the term.
they're not really...
Even Tuna's gonna be like,
Bjorn,
The cat's name is Tuna?
it's
Petunia.
Petunia, but she calls her Tuna.
Bjorn, I, Abraham, even the others, you couldn't really keep more esteemed company. So I wouldn't worry about it. If you're dinner, you're our dinner, not anyone else's.
Yep, okay, fine. Yeah. I am going to hold you to that because yep, that's all I can really do. I'm gonna hold to that, Uncle Theo. Thank you. I'm gonna trust you on this one.
Do you want me to, like, make you look like someone else? Like, what do you want?
No, thank you.
Oh, I'd have to kill her first.
So Theo, we're still in agreement that two months from now that we are going to have her for dinner, correct?
Well, yeah, it's like slow cooking. She's got to be seasoned.
Well, can I choose at least what genre of food?
As
Sure.
long as it's not Cajun.
We
Well,
do get a
no.
little tired of that. 300 years later, I'm kind of tired of gumbo. I'd kill for like an aioli or something, you know?
Is aioli Italian? I was thinking Italian. It sounds Italian.
I don't know.
I
I don't
think
speak
so.
gibberish.
Aioli is just a sauce with like mayonnaise.
Well, it's
got a
no, it's
fancy
anything.
name,
It's like
okay?
anything mixed with mayonnaise, but I don't know who came up with it first.
Pasta is just ground up wheat, Elvish.
Anyway, actually, I think this is a good spot to stop. And I think what's going to happen is we've got Luther, Abraham, and Dinah. We just got some information from Joshua and some ideas. He offered to even help work get a large bar forum, whatever else works best for this party, to help them. And they've got some texts from Rebecca, Theo, Bjorn, kind of like being like, we should meet up again and talk. So those three have some ideas, and the other three, we've kind of like almost like two parties of one bigger coterie going. So I think what'll probably happen is we might even talk a little bit downtime off stream about what these characters are thinking and what they want to do next. And probably next week we'll probably get that party going. We might even discuss some of it early on stream. I'll certainly wrap up any details that weren't discussed during this game. And we'll go forward with that so we don't have to necessarily do the New York thing of 15 weeks for 5 hours. But I will wrap our stream up by saying, as usual, thank you to everybody who comes out and watches us live on Twitch. Thank you to everybody who watches us on YouTube when we post it later. We've got quite a bunch of new faces tonight. Really excited to see you guys join our stream. Some of you said you've been watching New York before. So happy to see you. If you have not joined us on Discord, the link is below on Twitch and YouTube. Definitely join us. We talk about not only this game, but World of Darkness in general, tabletop in general, and of course just, whatever the fuck's fun and interesting to talk about. We have a D&D game that is going now on Fridays at 9:30 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. Zabani is actually our amazing DM, and we are just about to wrap up our world building. We're actually building our own setting, so we're not just plopping into any old D&D setting. We're making our own world. It's got magic mushroom kingdoms and tundras and all kinds of crazy islands. It's really fucking cool. It's so much fun. We're just about to wrap it up. We've made our own legends and gods and heroes and stuff too. Really cool. So yeah, check us out here on Friday, on Wednesday, or not Wednesday, on YouTube. I don't know why I said Wednesday. What's up, Hopeless?
I just wanted to point out that it also had fjords.
Oh, yeah,
For
all the
reasons.
fjords.
Don't you mean Bjords?
The fjords of Bjorn and
Yeah.
Bjorn fjords.
Zabani made a map, and I noticed there was actually a set of peninsula fjords that looked totally like Scandinavia. It was I just went to Modi. We need to put some ice and forests up in there. Yeah.
I was ahead of you. on this.
Yeah, but definitely join us on Discord, check us out on YouTube, and we will be back on Friday. You want to say something, it seems like?
Yeah, everyone also just, let us know, give us some, if you join the Discord or comment somewhere, whatever you want to do, let us know what we can do to increase production values, what you guys want to see more of, what you're interested in. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It will probably get caught up in the demonetization wave with YouTube, so it helps us out if you can. If not, that's totally cool. And, let us know what you expect out of us so we can make a better game next time.
Good night.